Okie dokie.
All right. Oh. Hello, everyone. Hello. Hello. We're just gonna talk like this the entire time because that's fun.
Well, maybe if this was Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. We could do the Precious voice all the time. We could do Gollum. Speaking of, did you see that they announced Lord of the Rings Gollum?
Has a
Yeah, for PS5.
I mean, honestly, like looking at
It's a cool idea, but if it gets locked up into some kind of VR or whatever, hell no.
Like, if it's like a short thing that's like, okay, this is kind of what Gollum was doing during the events of the story, I can kind of see it, but even then, there's not a whole lot. Even when you look at the stuff in the appendices or even the Silmarillion, I mean, there's not much to Smeagol or Gollum as a character beyond what we see in The Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings.
No, exactly. And that's what they're banking on. I don't know why, but they announced it. It's next gen. That's what next gen is. We're going to be able to play as Gollum. Anyway, welcome to Drak Let's Play Live, everybody, with not Andrea. Well, Andrea got taller and has facial hair. Maybe I should be worried about that.
And a deeper voice.
Welcome back, Stephen Romney of StudioGhostUtah.
And glad to be back.
So, here's the thing. We usually bring you in for, like, fighting games and whatnot, but this game, I had not only fans of the streams asking me to play it, but you were also very much interested. And the reason that we're on the PlayStation 4 menu is because we found out that there's a cool little intro for it, so we'll go ahead and play that now. But welcome, everybody, to Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. We're going to be trying this out for the full 3 hours, and we're going to give Romney some time with it, we're going to give me some time with it, and see whether or not it is worth all the hype it has gotten. Now, granted, with what the trailers have shown, I'm excited. It's an action-adventure game in the Dragon Ball universe.
Yes, so it's basically like a high-budget version of Legacy of Goku, basically.
Yes, but here's the thing. The last time we got any kind of a version of this game, aside from because the Legacy of Goku is not a good example here. It was on the handhelds. The last one we got that was an action-adventure kind of RPG feel was Dragon Ball Z Sagas. And we all know how that turned out.
Not well.
No, not well at all. So we're going to play this game, and we're going to see if it's worth the hype that it's getting, or that it got when it was announced. And hopefully it is, because like I just, given the amount of money and effort that's been put into this, I can't not have it be good.
Yeah, and it would definitely be in Namco's best interest because, well, I mean, you still have people writing the hype from Super. You've also got people clamoring for a new series, which who knows what Shueisha is planning. I mean, although the manga's progressed far enough along, there's still no word yet on whether they're actually going to animate what's been occurring thus far with the Galactic Patrol arc.
I think in a lot of cases, it's going to, like, if we were to get sequels of this game, let's just call them sequels for lack of a better term. If we were going to get that, this game has to do like gangbusters. It has to do really, really well, and then at that point, Namco Bandai would be willing to justify it, but I don't know the intro numbers for the... Well, I mean, it just barely released like 2 days ago. So.
Yeah, but even with some of the less... I mean, the fact that people still play Dokkan Battle...
Yeah.
It speaks to the strength of the Dragon Ball brand.
Well, but here's the thing, too, is that I know a lot of people are also very frustrated with this because they want to see revisits to games like Fusions. And Namco Bandai made this instead. That's where the Dragon Ball Z budget went.
Yeah.
So at that point, like they're all like, okay, this had better be worth it.
Well, I think it's partially not so much because they made this instead, but it's also because they're still maintaining Xenoverse 2.
Yes.
Which very much is kind of what Fusions... It's part of that same niche of, okay, this ties to Dragon Ball Online. This will be for fans who like this timeline, so to speak. And especially given that Dragon Ball Heroes for the Switch didn't do so well, even in Japan, because it just didn't have a great release. I can see Namco kind of thinking, okay, let's step away from that, maybe try something that doesn't require as much maintenance like Xenoverse does.
That's true, yeah. Okay, so checking gameplay data. Oh, crap. Really?
Yeah, Namco games always have like these long EULAs, which
Well, I can't read it on the stream, so I'm gonna have to break my podcast rule of like we're not gonna read it right now. But if I find out later that it allows for me to be made into a human Sentai pad, then I'm going to be very pissed off.
Yeah,
let's put it that way.
It's just a lot of Japanese companies have been putting these license agreements in their games,
well,
Namco
and
especially.
Namco and also Shueisha's involved with this, so it would not surprise me if they required it. So,
well, yeah, and that's because they do, like, because Capcom even does it as well, where it's like analysis policies, this, that, and the other. A lot of it coming from stuff like COPPA as well. Now that the FTC is really, really cracking down on that.
Okay, we've got a story recap. In this world exist 7 mystical orbs, known as the Dragon Balls. Any who should obtain all 7 is granted anything their heart desires. This strange tale has these Dragon Balls at its very heart. That's like the closest I can do to narrator.
Yeah.
Next time on Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, it's hard to match Kyle Hebert.
It really is. Oh, we are right in. Hi, Tail.
Dad? Dad?
Oh, yeah, new voice for Gohan.
Yeah, I think it's like Colleen Clinkenbeard now is the one who voices Gohan.
It's just weird to hear that.
Yeah, well, it's because Stephanie Naldoni no longer works with Funimation. I don't know the specifics, I just know that that's part of it.
If you listen to her, it's because of Chris Sabat, but I'm not going to confirm or deny.
I just figured it was because she moved to California or something, since Funimation's based in.
No, she kind of interjected herself into the whole Vic stuff and said that she got fired or she started losing work because she wouldn't get onto Chris Sabat's casting couch. That's her story. Don't know if it's accurate or not, but
yeah. I mean, she still does voice act. She's just mostly been doing work with Cartoon Network.
Oh, jeez, they're going to throw me right into a battle. Okay.
Well, I mean, it is Dragon Ball. I mean, you kind of should have seen this coming.
Yeah. I really should have. Okay, so really quick. So melee attack is circle. That's already going to feel really awkward. Key blast attack, charge key, and step. Okay, I think I'm good.
Well, it keeps it on the side there.
All right, well, this is going to be very interesting to try and run.
Come on, Goku. Is that the best you can do? Not bad, Piccolo.
Okay, well, there we go. Level 1 Piccolo. Okay, I have not played Xenoverse, but this feels like Xenoverse's engine.
Yeah, it looks about like it, and I can see they probably wanted to keep it kind of...
All right.
Because like Xenoverse, it also, like, angle-wise, it's also similar to, like, the Ultimate Tenkaichi series and Raging Blast.
Okay.
Oh.
Whoa.
Shows area of effect. So I guess Piccolo's gonna turn this into a bullet hell game?
I guess. I'm already a touch worried, Romney. I'm not gonna lie here.
Do you think this is some sort of game?
What? No way! I know it's not a game. I'm just really pumped to fight you.
Gosh. Okay. Whoa. Surge. So when both your tension gauge and key are full, hold triangle to activate the surge effect.
Give me all you got.
Well, that did not help. Ow. Oh, okay, alright. So I was trying to figure out how to do, like, the fast steps. There we go. Shadow steps. Whatever you want to call them. Oh, there we go. Surge. Ooh, alright. So...
I think I've warmed up enough by now.
Give me all you've got!
Whoa!
Holy moly. Okay. I'm trying to do a Kamehameha. It's not working.
Well, I think you're supposed to hold the
Oh,
L1.
hold L1. That's what I was doing wrong. So I got an A at the very least. I leveled up! Former foe.
I will make it look better than Vegeta!
Now, technically, how old is Gohan at this point? I can't remember. In the
He's
Saiyan
like
Saga.
5.
Yeah, like 4 or 5 years old.
Yeah.
Stop the Saiyan invasion! Okay, so basically we're gonna go from Raditz to Boo again.
Yeah.
The boy Son Goku defeated Demon King Piccolo, who plotted world domination. 5 years have passed since his victory.
And yet they didn't open it at the actual world tournament where that battle took place.
Yeah, right? Like, why couldn't you?
I
Because
guess-
you had adult Goku.
I guess it's because Attack of the Saiyans already did that.
Maybe, but I mean,
Yeah.
there's another game that deserves a sequel and will never get one.
No.
Is Attack of the Saiyans. I've played that.
'cause
That's
they-
amazing.
The problem is that it's because they made the mistake to tie it to Dragon Ball Z, whereas in Japan it was specifically tied to Dragon Ball Kai. Whereas if they tied it to Dragon Ball Z Kai, it probably would have stood a better chance, but that was the problem. It's a real shame because it's a really good RPG for the Dragon. Like,
Okay, did they get Justin Cook back?
Not much longer before this planet's ours.
Long-haired
It would
man.
have been ours much sooner if you'd actually done your job, Raditz.
Sorry.
And that's why everyone calls you Raditz the Runt.
Except in Broly,
Things will
where
be
he gets some
different on the
respect.
next planet.
Mark my words, if you screw up again, I will kill you.
Wait, I just remembered something. I think my little brother Kakarot was sent to a different planet. I'll bet he's still there.
You have a brother? I didn't think there were any Saiyans left besides us.
If he joins us, the rest of the universe will be ours in no time.
of course, with the events of Broly, this raises questions.
This
Because,
does, yeah.
Yeah, because Raditz assumed that Goku was killed with the destruction of planet Vegeta.
Uh-huh.
So how the hell would he know that he's on Earth?
I don't know. Maybe you play into the concept like he just didn't want to die, so he wanted to take a chance.
But now that I think about it, I haven't heard anything about him taking control of it. Damn that Kakarot, what the hell is he doing?
See, it's great to hear Justin Cook's voice, but you know that it's not going to be for that long.
Attack of the Saiyans.
All right, so we're going to start up the plot of Dragon Ball Z.
Dad? Dad?
I'm done meditating now.
Dad? We better head home or Mom's gonna be really mad at us.
Sorry for getting a bit carried away, Gohan. I was fighting somebody super strong.
Super strong?
Yeah, a guy going by the name of Piccolo.
Piccolo?
Yeah, well, he used to be called Demon King Piccolo, and he was real bad to the bone. He's the strongest guy I've ever fought in my whole life. I don't think anybody's gotten me more pumped up than him. I want to fight him again. So I'm hoping to get stronger, and soon.
I'd be afraid to fight someone like that.
You know, I'd bet you'd be just fine if you trained yourself up a bit.
I don't think Mom would like that very much.
No, she'd kill you.
Ah, that's right. I totally forgot that Chi-Chi asked us to get some ingredients for her. How could I not remember that?
Because you think about the food when it's finished.
Think. What all did she need again?
She needed 10 rat tails.
I think she wanted some fish and apples, Dad.
Oh, yeah, right. Let's just see if we can't find us some apples around this place.
Okay, I'll go look.
Gohan sure is full of energy.
Okay, so this is the action-adventure portion. So, field controls. Okay, so boost flight, jump. Pretty simple. Alright. Items on the field, you can find a variety of items. Simply approach an item, and you will automatically collect it. Okay.
And it's like food, as they can be eaten as is for stat boosts or cooked as part of meals. So.
Oh no, cooking's gonna be a part of this game.
Don't get too excited and trip over your own feet.
Okay, so we got that. We got a bamboo shoot.
Now, where did that son of mine run off to? Safe to say he couldn't have gone that far.
He says when he's literally within visual range.
I know, right? Yeah.
Dad, over here.
I get it, plot, but
It looks like you found an apple tree.
okay. So what? You want me to?
Let's try to find one more. What do you say?
Leave it to me.
And we've encountered our first glitch.
Yeah.
Blast.
That's not. It's not a good sign.
Where did that
Namco
son of mine
Bandai.
run off to? Hey now! Don't go wandering too far. Safe to say he couldn't have gone that far.
Well, I want to fly, but it won't let me.
I guess it's because it's too early in the game.
Yeah, maybe. Like some apples.
Yeah, especially since it wasn't really until like the Namek saga or so when flying kind of became the normal thing. I think at this point he was still having to rely on the Nimbus.
Yeah, because he uses the Nimbus to go and face Raditz.
Dad, over here. Over here.
Wow,
I can't even
Gohan.
tell. All right.
You're a regular bloodhound.
Are you calling your son a bloodhound? That's I mean, maybe that's dialogue, but that's a little disconcerting.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So follow the column of light. That'll help. I will also say this: the camera's rather finicky.
This ought to be enough.
Yeah.
That's already not a good sign.
Oh yeah, we've got plenty of apples now. Thanks for finding these, Gohan.
I'm kind of tired now, though.
I get it. And I don't blame you. Hang in there, I got an idea. We'll catch some fish and then head straight home.
Okay.
Okay, so now we have to go do a
First,
fishing
we need to
minigame.
find a spot to fish.
I am already worried. Slice of life.
Fast.
You got it. Try to keep up, though.
Whee! It's okay. You're just going to use the Kamehameha in the water.
Either that or he's going to use Gohan as bait.
Ooh. You know what's really sad about that statement? It's kind of true.
Yeah.
He would do it. For some food, he would definitely do it.
Oh yeah, because it looks like it's like an escort mission sort of basis where you have to keep Gohan close.
Yeah. Where'd that son of mine go? Okay. Well, now I'm here, so...
So I guess it's like, oh, you need to go.
Chi-Chi will be pretty upset if I don't head straight home. I don't need to head over there.
Well, I headed to the dock! What the hell?
Looks like you have to find Gohan.
Oh, okay, so let's
yeah,
go
because it
find
says keep
Gohan.
Gohan close and make your way to the fishing spot.
Two of us need to go together.
Whoa! Alright, well, the jumping is somewhat helpful, but somewhat not. Okay, so there's little Gohan. I can see him. So I guess while we're making our way through this, really quick, I just want to get your opinion on a few things that have happened.
Oh,
since...
they made it look like he's crying when he's separated.
Oh. So, really quick, Smash character number 5 was announced. Your thoughts on Byleth being the 5th character?
Honestly, I'm not that surprised. I mean, at least it looks like they tried to switch things up, and they even were aware of like, oh, too many sword fighters in like the reveal trailer. But
Gohan?
I'm not that
Where do you
surprised.
run off to?
I made him cry again. See, I'm a little
Right up ahead.
buggered by it, simply because, you know, we had all 4 characters up until this point from different companies. And look, I get it.
Yeah.
Fire Emblem's made from a second-party developer.
Well, to a point, it's still technically considered a first-party title.
Yeah, that's what my problem is. So you would get... So first one was Atlas. Second one was Square Enix. Third one was Microsoft.
Anymore.
Fourth is SNK.
Man, you get tired
And then
pretty
fifth is
easy, don't
Nintendo?
you?
Well, I mean, it is the newest game, and that's always what they do with Super Smash Brothers, is that they always use it to promote... They always use it to promote whatever game is the newest game.
I guess so, because, like, They just decided to do that, and then on top of that, they got a little bit of backlash for it, because everybody's like, oh crap, another Fire Emblem character, which means it's probably going to be a sword fighter. And then how did Sakurai manage that? Oh, you can wield all of the other weapons. So he's Link. Or he and she is Link. Another sword fighter.
Yeah.
That doesn't really detract.
Yeah, but it looks like they did think a little bit more of like, okay, how can we make this different from the other Fire Emblem characters? So the first one is like,
yeah,
okay.
and I will give them credit for giving that thought.
Yeah, because Byleth 1 doesn't have a counter like all the other Fire Emblem fighters, and it seems like they actually had to think about.
But what are we gonna fish with?
Nobody said anything about a rod, did they?
My
Yep. I mean,
Are you kidding me? We're going to use Gohan as a fishing
What
rod.
do you say? Let's.
We're going to use his tail to catch fish. All right.
Sure, there's a good spot somewhere right around this place.
So, fish! The crap?
All right.
Are you kidding me? So that is his dead tail?
Who knows?
I have no words. Welcome to the world of Dragon Ball, where everything is supersized.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it makes sense because they did explain at the kind of the start of the tournament arc when Goku's an adult that Kami had to use some sort of magic for, and like at least how it was explained to Goku is that Goku had to give up his tail in order for Kami to rebuild the moon. So I'm sure they'll probably give some sort of explanation or something.
I guess so.
Time to grill up some.
All right, so let's eat a meal. I thought Chi-Chi was cooking Goku. So lean giant fish. Sure. Oh, so this is getting us into the food system. So plus 1% to key defense. So sure, let's do that. Too many crystals. That's a big fish. No problem saying that.
Yeah, just wait till we get to the segment in which Gohan is literally eating the same dinosaur's tail.
Ooh, yeah.
Man, I'm stuffed. Is there anything better than some fresh fish in your belly?
Ugh, I think I ate too much, though.
Well, if you want to be as big as your dad, you're gonna have to eat a lot of this stuff.
Are you now?
Right.
Okay, so
I had fun today, Dad.
I'm sure
You
you
know-
did.
I had fun today too. Thanks for your help. I'll teach you how to fish next time so we can do it together.
Okay. I can't wait.
Yay. You got the following soul emblems, Goku and Gohan. Soul emblems are items that represent relationships with certain characters and can be obtained as you progress through the story. Soul emblems don't do anything by themselves, but by setting them to a community board, you can activate effects that will help you on your adventure. Okay. So you got Z-Warrior Community Leader Goku and unlocked a new community board. Awesome. Busy work in a Dragon Ball game. Emblems can be set or removed. Okay, got it. I'm not messing around with your community level just yet.
So it looks like they're thinking, hey, let's copy the sphere grid from Final Fantasy X, because that was totally a good idea.
Something like that. It depends on how they actually utilize it, because it could also be like using the Crystarium from 13. Which I didn't have a problem with, but others did. Okay, so we have to select Gohan. Put Gohan next to Goku. Okay, I'm setting Gohan next to Goku. Set Gohan next to Goku. Am I not pressing the right button? I'm already fed up. Set Gohan next to Goku.
Well, it says confirm bonuses when you push the touchpad. Could that be the button? No? That's...
Nope. Confusing. Oh, confusing. Okay, there you go. He's right next to Goku. He is on top of Goku's face. Oh, there you go.
I bet you'd be pretty strong if you trained.
I don't think so.
Okay, so ultimate father-son team. Placing specific soul emblems next to one another will activate what's called a link bonus. Activating a link bonus raises a community's level and makes it easier to raise a community's rank. Okay, well...
Oh yeah, Dad. I meant to tell you. I found this while you were fishing.
Really? Thanks, Gohan.
Sacred text of martial arts. Because it was just laying there by the river.
Well, I mean, this is Dragon Ball.
Okay, so gift items. Oh, okay. So what we have to do is give him the gift he just barely gave us. So, sacred text of martial arts. Yes. Yay! Okay. I'm just going to go ahead and say right now, Romney, this is a bit more complicated than it should be.
Yeah.
So, should we head home now?
Return home.
All right.
Right.
I get it. Well, now we got a cutscene, so...
Here goes. Flying Nimbus! All right. Hang on tight.
Whoa! It's a dinosaur!
Because they live in this world.
Bye-bye!
Yeah, I was kind of wondering if I'd have control of the Nimbus. Z-Orbs. I don't care about your stinking Z-Orbs.
Flying Nimbus is super fast!
Okay,
I've been riding
there
this
we
old
go.
thing since I was just a little kid.
I don't know, man. It feels like a Disney ride. If you're calling this fast, then great.
Only those with a pure heart can ride. That explains why you've got no problems there.
Yeah, this is fun!
He's a kid! Of course he's going to be pure of heart.
Well, that's not necessarily a guarantee, considering that Krillin, when they first met, couldn't ride it.
Okay, good point. Good point.
And technically,
Hey,
Krillin
TT,
still
we're
can't.
back, and we got food.
Hi, Mom!
You're late, Goku. It shouldn't have taken you so long to gather ingredients.
Yeah, sorry about that. We did some training too.
You're supposed to introduce Gohan to Master Roshi and the others today.
Wait, that's today?
Of course.
Sorry about that. I promise I'll remember next time.
You won't.
Forget it. What are you waiting for? Get in here. I need to get cooking right away.
Let me guess. Cooking minigame. And get her to make you some lunch. Because that's what Chi-Chi's useful for.
Now then, I'll just take these ingredients and whip you up something tasty.
Okay. Make a dish. Select boiled fish. We don't get any choice in the matter.
Yeah, it sounds like a tutorial.
Yeah,
in the
welcome
modern-
to tutorial land.
Welcome to tutorial land in the new decade of gaming.
Okay, so I guess we gotta search the house. So while she's making food, here's the other big update that happened. We got major delays. Well, one major delay and two... one, I don't think it was so bad, and then another one that wasn't really that bad. So, in case you didn't hear, Avengers got pushed from May to September. Cyberpunk got pushed to, I think, from April to May now. And Final Fantasy VII got pushed from March to April.
Yeah.
Actually, no. I think it was May to April to July is Cyberpunk, but I might be wrong. So, are you... Oh, that's cool. They actually used, like, the legit cells.
This is the stone me and Krillin used in our training. Me and him had to hunt this thing down. Krillin beat me.
So, oh, yay. We have a Z encyclopedia. That's helpful. So your thoughts on the delays, because I know we've said this numerous times, Romney, but It always comes up. If a game gets delayed, according to the internet, it's bad.
Where are you off to now, Dad?
I'm going to see Master.
Oh, yeah.
Well, to that, I would just have to tell people, yeah, that's not entirely true. And this is coming from someone who waited and waited and had a reservation at GameStop for Twilight Princess when it first came out. And it kept getting delayed so much that the people at GameStop took pity on me and told me not to pay more money on the deposit.
Oh, yeah, I have a relationship with Chi-Chi. Okay. She'll nag me in my Z community.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't get the problem here, and we've said it a lot on the podcast. Like, this is not as big a situation as people make it out to be. It really isn't. Okay, well, that's cool. She gives us cooking bonuses.
And it looks like she has her own board.
Later, Chi-Chi. We're off to see Master Roshi.
Wait a second. Are you forgetting something, Goku? I thought you had something for Gohan.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Wow, what a neat little ball.
That little ball on top there? It's a Dragon Ball. I got it from my grandpa after he died. But that's not all you got from him. You were also named after him.
Really?
Oh my, Gohan looks so handsome.
And is now an even bigger
It'll
target.
be like he's watching over you whenever you wear that hat. So take real good care of it, okay, Gohan?
Yeah, I will. Thanks, Mom.
I think we
Thanks,
learned
Dad.
one valuable lesson from the
Alright,
Saiyan
we're
Saga.
leaving for real
Don't
this
give
time.
Dragon Balls as gifts.
Goku, don't let anything
Nope.
happen to our little Gohan.
Especially to young
And
children.
Gohan, be on your best behavior.
I will, Mom. Bye.
I want you both home by supper, you got it?
See, and the way that I look at the delays is like, okay, Final Fantasy, it kind of sucks, but it's in April.
Well, yeah, and plus, given that the delays it's already had after
Yeah.
the deal fell through with CyberConnect 2,
Yeah.
and with Avengers especially, given how rough that first trailer looked, they need the time to get that thing polished.
Yeah, and even Cyberpunk, it does make sense that they would need a little bit more extra time to work with it.
Well, yeah, especially given that if news gets out of any crunch being implemented with any of the studios, that's a bad PR nightmare. Because that's something that CD Projekt Red had to field when news got out about some of the crunch that was implemented when they worked on The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt.
Yeah.
And so it's also a case of, okay, we're going to delay it. That way we don't have to put our employees through crunch, even though some companies probably will. It's very much a case of, hey, let's not rush it, because if we rush it and put out a bad product, we'll get yelled at.
Agree, because like I can get the aesthetic from both Cyberpunk as well as Avengers, but Final Fantasy VII remake, that's not that bad considering how, like you said, like a lot of the delays that has happened with it. And I'm okay with it, but I just don't get the internet's mantra of like, it got delayed, ergo it's bad.
It's because what we're seeing now is we're seeing a generation of gamers that haven't had to wait and haven't. I mean, when you consider probably when we were both kids as opposed to the younger gamers in this generation, I remember it would be like years and years and years between releases for things like Zelda, Final Fantasy, and even just larger franchises. And this was in the early days of the internet where you couldn't have access to all the information all at once. You had to get it piecemeal through magazines, through outlets, through trailers from E3 and TGS.
Yeah,
I was very much a Square Enix fanboy, so I know the struggle when I was following stuff like 13, Dissidia, and hoping that they would eventually announce Kingdom Hearts 3, but then it was like, oh, yet another spin-off, Birth by Sleep, yet another spin-off, and another spin-off, and another spin-off.
and I guess part of that was just because like, you know, Nomura wanted to set up the stakes for 3, and that's fine. I mean,
that and the other part is that with, because this was around the time that Sakaguchi and a lot of the major people behind Final Fantasy had been leaving the company,
Yes.
so Nobara was the last guy they had, because even Uematsu had left the company and was basically a composer that they would contract instead of actually being an employee of Square.
yeah, basically.
Who's this little guy?
And I know that very much was a big part of it, is that Nomura was kind of a case of, well, you work with Sakaguchi, you'll be in charge of a lot of these franchises.
Yeah.
So he just didn't have time to work on 3 because he was busy everywhere else.
Nice to meet you, too.
His name is Gohan.
Gohan? Oh, so you named him after your grandpa, huh?
Yeah. Suits him, don't you think?
I promise we're paying attention to the game, but like,
It's Dragon Ball. We've seen
we-
this
we've
story
seen
like
this
50
before.
bajillion times.
I'm almost tempted to like start fast forwarding through cutscenes, but that's me. Okay, we'll talk to Bulma while we continue to talk about stuff. Alright. Well, at least I'll...
Looks like talking to Krillin will further the plot.
Yeah, so there we go.
Goku, have you been training lately? Well, not right. With Piccolo taken care of, things have been pretty... Hey, you two.
I could. It would seem you've both forgotten that training is a daily activity. You should be moved.
I can't argue with...
Now, to make sure...
Okay, the Turtle School Training Manual. Thank you.
Report. Yes, sir, Master. Yes, sir, Master.
Now, time to get back to my usual enjoyment.
Watching porn.
Or reading it.
Hey, look, we have Master Roshi now. So the adult community leader?
I mean, that sounds like just something that Master Roshi would call himself on like a forum or something.
Why is he getting his own community board?
And it's the girly Max.
No. Why? Why do we need this? Why?
Yeah, it's a good thing the internet doesn't exist in the world of Dragon Ball.
Okay. We're just gonna make fun of this all the time, aren't we? So, look, sub-stories. So this is one of the things that this game kind of totes, is you can do sub-stories. So let's talk to our boy Turtle Boy here, and
Yes.
Hey!
dagnabbit, he went and hid my book again. That's Master Roshi's voice. I don't know what he's talking about.
Greetings.
Have you seen that blasted turtle? He ran off somewhere.
It's like, are you seriously still calling him that? You know that's not his name, right?
Never mind that. What about my book? That pain in the butt hid my book somewhere. What kind of book is it? Is that really that special? Of course it's special. It's my most prized possession. If I don't have it, then I... Okay, so... Master Roshi's prized possession. Turtle has hidden Master Roshi's book. It has to be around here somewhere. Sure, why not?
So this literally is Legacy of Goku, because that is literally the first thing you do in Legacy of Goku, is cleaning up and finding the girly mags that Master Roshi has on the island.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if Legacy of Goku was a strong inspiration for this game. Which is kind of a sad thing, since that series didn't really get good until Boost Fury.
Yeah.
I like Legacy of Goku too. I'm not
like,
partial
I think
to the
they at
first
least
one.
got their footing with the second game. Like, the second game was when they kind of started to realize, okay, now we have kind of an idea of what we're doing.
Yeah, because that's kind of my viewpoint. Legacy of Goku 2 and Boost Fury are good. But Legacy of Goku 1 had some issues.
Yeah, and that was especially because it was an earlier part of the saga. It's like, okay, well, we're going to stick with just Goku, since we've got the Saiyan and the Frieza saga as kind of the main focus on it.
As Goku talk to Turtle, okay.
Oh yeah, I guess because in this game you'll be able to play as different characters at different parts of the story.
Okay, so if I talk to you...
What's up? All right. Huh?
You receive a D medal from Krillin.
This. Yeah.
Oh, so we could train in the simulator. I don't know why we want to do that. Hello, Sophia. Welcome. So, I guess we have to do this, but first, let's go talk to the turtle and get the girly mag.
Hey.
Oh.
He needs to learn some self-control.
Don't we all?
It's Master Roshi. He's never going to. Was he? Oh, so he buried it in the ground. Okay, so I guess we got to dig up the beach. Find the photograph collection Turtle has hidden.
First.
So, can I just go to... Oh, okay. Wow, that was a really, really hard search, wasn't it, wasn't it,
Yeah.
Romney? We searched for hours.
Hours and hours.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it's right up there with that moth boss battle from Silent Hill.
Right. I mean, that took an hour, too. You found the girly book.
Yo.
Yep.
Help me out with that troll. Okay, so... Story complete! Wow, you forget how many teeth Roshi's missing. Until
Yeah,
you
well,
have moments like that.
Well, I mean, when you spend your entire life training in the martial arts...
Dental is not really a thing you worry about.
Yeah, not usually.
Okay, so helping hand. Now we can go into the simulator. Okay. We have to do a consecutive energy blast. Oh, try to learn it. Yay, we get to fight Computer Krillin. Maybe I'll pause it really quick. Holy moly. Yes, I want to quit training. Okay, so stepping and dodging, which I'm kind of learning. Ah, here we go. So Kamehameha! All right. Oh, that was not helpful.
Boom!
Boom! Okay, newfound power. So we did our training for today.
And now you have a new technique.
Who is your friend again that is playing Dragon Ball? This is Stephen Romney of StudioGhostUtah. So if you guys have any questions for him, feel free to ask them while we continue to play a game that has already kind of gotten us scratching our head a little bit. All right, so we did that. So can we advance the plot now? A long overdue reunion. This is probably the one that will... Are you sure you want to continue the story?
I can't be sure since Chi-Chi won't let me train him to find out one way or the other.
Oh, hi.
Hey, Dad? What was that?
Not sure.
Oh, they didn't have Raditz versus the guy with the shotgun.
Nope. Farmer with the shotgun. They did him dirty.
They cut him out. Let's just have a moment of silence for the dude with the shotgun. For the duration of this loading. All right, I think we're good. We're good. So another quick thing that I have a feeling will get brought up in the podcast, but I have no problem talking about it here. Did you see the Golden Globes?
Nope, but I did see Ricky Gervais's speech.
Yes. So that seems to be the biggest thing that came out of that. What was your take on the speech?
Honestly...
Oh my gosh, we are going to get it! Wow, we did our moment of silence too soon.
No, see, the universe heard us. They heard how much we wished to see the farmer with a shotgun.
Nice.
And so it obliged.
What is it? It ain't no meteor.
Good. I'm glad that you can see it's not a meteor. What is your friend's zodiac sign? I have no idea.
Depends on which zodiac we're talking. Oh my god, it's Sonic the Hedgehog!
They need another redesign!
It's just that's a Team 4-star reference.
Oh, yeah. Oh, dude, playing this game with the Team 4-star voiceover? Oh, that'd be great, wouldn't it?
It would be, but it'll never happen.
No.
Who or what are you? A power level of only 5? What trash. Stay back!
You remember when power levels were a thing?
Yeah.
That's what you get.
Is this the best this planet can muster?
Yeah, so I guess in terms of the zodiac signs, since that came up, for the Western zodiac, I'm a Pisces. Chinese zodiac, I was born in Year of the Monkey. Year of the Monkey, Hour of the Ox.
Yay. Sophia likes that stuff.
Yeah, and as for Western, Sun sign Pisces, Moon sign Scorpio. I don't know my rising sun sign. Yeah, I used to be really into astrology when I was a kid, so that's how I figured a lot of this stuff out.
Oh wow, so we're now playing as Piccolo.
We're now playing as Big Green.
Piccolo? Are you a Yoshi?
Yes.
It's like, yes, Goku, I'm a big effing dinosaur.
I'm a big green dinosaur. And one of the things I like is that, so they took the Kai thing and did Dragon Ball Z Kai Abridged. And he's just like, F yeah, I'm a dinosaur!
Well, yeah, and then there's been like the T-shirts and stuff where it's basically a Yoshi but wearing Piccolo's uniform.
Yeah. Again, that would actually, you know what, that would be an amazing thing to do in this one. Oh, hi. Well, random battles can occur in this game.
It's probably just some remnant from the Red Ribbon Army.
Demon Flash Strike. Wow, I thought I would get, like, the Masenko. Oh, I do.
So that's all, huh?
No, that's not it.
No, that's just his explosive wave.
Yeah, he doesn't get the Masenko. What the hell?
I think he develops that technique while he's training with Gohan for
Oh, does he?
Saiyans.
Okay.
I don't remember, because I don't think he used it in Dragon Ball.
Because I thought King Piccolo had, like, the destructive wave, which is the Masenko, basically.
Maybe? I don't remember.
I've got no use for these people.
I've hit the mother load. Oh, good for you. Good for you. I do not care, but all right.
This power, it's unlike anything I've ever felt.
Okay, let's head towards the plot. Like, the cool part about this is that there is an open world. You can actually find some additional stuff to do, but it's pretty much the same plot we've been doing for years. Like, I love the Z plot just as much as anybody else. So that is apparently, does a Zodiac sign, Romney.
Wasn't Kakarot after all.
Rodney.
Okay, well, looking at it,
I don't have time.
I'm guessing that's... I recognize some of them as Capricorn. I don't... The one that looks like Omega, I can't remember. I think that's Aquarius, I think?
You've got spunk.
Maybe?
I like that.
Maybe. Yeah, again, it's been years. Like, it was when I was in elementary school, is when I had a bunch of astrology books. I would do horoscopes for my friends.
Let's see if you can make this fun for me.
It's been years.
Rapid fire key wave! Yeah, this is really giving me a Xenoverse vibe.
Yeah, given that Xenoverse is still popular and played by a bunch of people, I can see them aping the user interface.
Oh, crap. I wrecked it. Okay, bursts. All right, well, at least this one, this fight's giving me a little bit more of a run for my money. Whoa!
You done already?
What the hell's going on?
And of course, Raditz just floats there.
Of course. Well, he's waiting to pull off his double Sunday.
He wants us to keep our eyes on the birdie.
Yes. Oh, cool. Piccolo leveled up. I love the character Piccolo. And Bundy, just letting you know that... Okay, it's Romney.
Well...
letting you know that Sony is not going to be at E3 this year. Yes, they're not.
Yeah, I mean, you did explain to me that she uses voice to text, and so the mistakes that I see... I used to work at a captioning company, and
yes.
I'm well familiar with the perils of voice to text.
Yes. Sorry, I didn't mean to correct. It's just like, okay, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah. Of course,
you do use voice to text. Sorry about that, Sophia. So yeah, we need to talk about this. For 2 years straight, Sony's going to be missing E3.
Well, I mean, E3's been slowly losing relevance over the past number of years. I mean, with Nintendo doing the whole, oh, we're just going to do a Direct, a lot of companies have been following suit, and so...
What's surprising to me, though, is that Microsoft has said that they will still be there. And we haven't heard an announcement from either of them on a console reveal, like a console... like new console related event. which, if I remember correctly, when the PS4 was being announced, we knew about its launch event like 2-3 months in advance.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I hope they don't...
Even Microsoft, we knew like 2 months in advance.
Yeah, unless we're going to get a repeat of what happened with the Saturn, where they decide to release it the day and date at E3, which, if people don't... To kind of explain, when the launch of the Sega Saturn in the United States, Sega made the colossal mistake of actually releasing it into stores on the day that they unveiled it at E3. Literally saying, it's available in stores, but there were no games out for it. And apparently a bunch of retailers were really mad. Because that meant they had no prep time on getting it shelved.
What have you been doing all this time?
I remember personally, because around the time the Saturn launched, we had a... So, you know the Costco over at Southtown Mall, right?
I think so, yeah.
So it used to be a store called Incredible Universe. And they actually had like a bunch of Saturns in the back. And they refused to sell them because there were no games. So, like, they basically complained that you have given us half a display.
You're lying.
And I remember they got in trouble for that, at least a little bit. And got a little bit of a delay before they got any of the games.
And because I know there were even some companies that straight up, like, blacklisted Sega. Like, I think it was either Walmart or Best Buy. One of those two said... Okay,
Walmart did.
Yeah, it was Walmart, and it's like, hey, because of this, we're just not going to sell any of your products.
Yeah, because I remember, like, you for Walmart and, like, Target and stuff like that, you got used to a Nintendo area, a Sega area right next to it, and then a Sony area, like when PlayStation hit the scene. And around that time, it was just nothing but Nintendo. Except it was Nintendo 64 in its early years, and there wasn't a whole lot on the library yet.
Nope.
So you had a bunch of empty slots.
Yeah, plus this was also the time when video game rentals were also very prominent. So although Walmart blacklisted Sega, Sega had cozied up with Blockbuster, being like, okay, well, we'll make rental titles. Because unlike Nintendo, we won't sue you.
Well, and what actually helped out in that time is that Sony's library was building like gangbusters. It was going up pretty fast. So they were putting on anything they could get from Sony.
Yeah,
anything.
And that's because Sony purposefully made the PlayStation much easier to develop for than Nintendo's hardware, because that was always the sticking point when developing for Nintendo consoles, was the difficulty of development, whereas they went, hey, we're gonna make our console really, really easy to develop for. Because I know they had like a deal with Namco, and it was a case of Namco was like, oh, hey, yeah, this console's really easy to make stuff for, and since it's on CDs, we don't have to worry about manufacturing parts or other hardware limitations, and so that's why Sony ended up basically mopping the floor with the competition during that generation.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, I mean, and it was actually just like a really cool thing to be able to see all of these big libraries. In fact, I think in a lot of cases that's what sold the PlayStation is when people saw the sheer breadth of their library.
Yeah, especially the level of third-party support.
Yeah, it's an Aries and in a Libra zodiac sign. Romney, he has Drak Let. Okay.
Okay, I kind of see it now. The symbols.
Okay. Oh, Aries, yeah, the ram.
Yeah, because I mean, I assumed the horns because Capricorn has horns as well. But yeah. And the Libra I can see since it kind of looks like the scales.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, that kind of makes sense.
Yeah. I know this because I designed the horoscope icons for the college newspaper back when I was working for them. I don't know if they're still using it now, but...
No, they went to the more... Like, the last thing I heard was they went to the magazine format, and they got rid of a lot of stuff from the paper.
Yeah, which doesn't surprise me.
Nah. Like, because I think by the time I had left, they were strictly doing just articles at that point. And they had nobody to do reviews, because they wanted me to step in and do game reviews. When the original plan was that I, like... When they were talking to me last, Aldo was supposed to be doing the mainstream game reviews, and they wanted me to bring me in for like budget reviews because I did crap. What's it called? The one that
Neither of us has what it takes to face
Broken
it head
Age.
on.
Because I did the Broken Age review, and people actually liked it. It's like, wow, you're actually reviewing stuff within our budget.
Yeah. Yeah. There was a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff, at least during the last year I was there at that paper.
Yep.
Just a lot of debates of how to structure things. It was...
Well, and on top of that, like, the other thing that kind of bugged me was they expected me to get a game every week on my own time. They're not going to pay me back for it.
Yeah.
I was like, that's not going to work.
Yeah, because that's how they did it with me, is that I had to pay for the movie tickets out of my own pocket.
And you had to do it, and the emphasis here when it went to magazine format is you had to do it consistently. I know we're not paying attention to the cutscene, guys, but we've seen it like 4
It's
or
Dragon
5
Ball.
times.
We've seen this story
Yeah.
more times than ever. So.
Oh, yeah. My favorite time, personally, was when it was uncut. And so you actually did get to see some of the sexier moments, including the tiny little penises. Because that was funny. I was like, wow. Toriyama had the audacity to show a kid peeing.
Well, again, with Japan, they have a different cultural mindset towards
yeah.
things like nudity as opposed to here in the States.
Like penises are a joke in their
like nudity
their
in general is
context.
very much just a joke.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey!
Hi, Bulma.
Huh?
Hey, somebody tell Monica Rial that I'm skipping all of her cutscenes. I don't care. All right, we
Give
got a
me
Vita
break.
drink.
Give me a break.
But
Oh,
it says you have to use it, but I think it's because you're at full health.
yeah. Register palette? I don't know. Oh, there you go.
Thank you.
Hey,
Yeah. Flying Nimba.
I don't care. Are you a Yoshi? Goddamn right I'm a dinosaur.
It's like, I'll add you on MySpace.
If you want to add
Tom,
me on
you've been
MySpace.
replaced.
I switched to Facebook a while ago.
Hold tight, Gohan.
Actually, no, my favorite space joke was, well, if it isn't Mo Howard, how do you know about Space Hulu figures? It was like, everything is space.
Like Space Australia, Space Old Yeller.
Lord Frieza, I want to use the space Skype. Well, I needed to ask my girlfriend where she wants to go for her anniversary. Come again. Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, now it works.
Yeah, I just had to load.
All right.
Goku, get a move on. Quit messing around.
So yeah, we've got
Really don't
we got
recall
Sony missing another year. I mean, does it really say anything bad about Sony?
None of it rings a bell.
I kind of don't think so.
It says more about E3 than it does Sony. It's
Yeah.
Because again, as people pointed out, just E3 is just no longer. Again, we're in the age of the internet, so E3 is just no longer the major thing. I mean, even if you look at what happens at Consumer Electronics Show now, it's no longer you no longer have like video game related anything. It's now just gimmicks from.
Well, and somebody made the argument a while back online, just saying like, well, it's still relevant to the developers. It really isn't.
Not really.
It really isn't, because some of them will go out of their way to do these big reveal events on their own. They'll just do it in office so it's cheap.
Yeah.
They like a lot of people don't realize devs have learned a lot from Nintendo Direct.
Mm-hmm.
And even when Nintendo doesn't have like anything major for console stuff, they will do smaller ones within the office to announce Pokemon
Or Animal Crossing.
or Animal Crossing. Yeah. So I don't even know if you can make that a thing anymore.
Yeah.
And I think another thing that's also beginning to happen, because I don't know if you heard some of the horror stories that came out of E3 this year. Gaming journalism has horrendous expectations of devs now.
Yep.
Like, they really do. I actually heard somebody who was making demands, or a games journalist, I'm not going to say who, because we're live. I'll say it to you afterwards. But a games journalist who made demands that sounded very similar to what a high-priced actor or actress would ask on the set.
Of course.
Guys, no. That's why it's not a thing anymore.
Your laptop is giving like a warning.
Oh, dang it. Okay, well, we might have to adapt that and plug it in.
Yeah, but that's the other thing, because apparently it's not limited to just like people who have the credentials. I've heard stories about things like that happening even with YouTubers who were at E3.
Yeah.
I know that there was this
YouTubers at VidCon.
Yeah. Because I know that was a case. It was a member of the Game Theory crew. I don't remember which one, but it was a case where they went to an indie developer and were basically.
It wasn't Matt. It was somebody lower
I think it was
end.
Ronnie Oni Edwards. I think it was who it was. And
the guy who committed suicide.
Who did Digressing and Side Questing was the show that he was brought on for before he was basically an editor for Game Theory.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a case where he had went to this booth for this independent developer and was just more or less kind of a dick and trying to use the fact that he was. I mean, the way Matt Pat handled it was at least decent, where he actually reached out to the developer, apologizing, hey, this shouldn't have happened. I'm going to talk with them. We're going to get to the bottom of this and see if we can get this straightened out.
Yeah, and at that point, like, I think in a lot of cases, E3 has kind of outlived its usefulness, because back in my day, because I'm the old fart, people, like, journalists were way more respectful, because if they didn't get the stories, then they had nothing to put in their magazine.
Yeah, and it's also a case, Denzel Washington said this at a press junket. I don't know for what film he was promoting, but it kind of summarizes the issue with just media in general today. We're at the point where people want to get it out fast. They don't want to necessarily get it right.
Yeah, exactly. It's the emphasis now is not necessarily accuracy. It is who gets the headline first. And, okay, I'm about to say something kind of mean about YouTubers like Yongya. And I don't mean it specifically to them, because I think some of them do their very best. But that emphasis is also there on YouTube. Mm-hmm. Because if you're the guy who gets it first, then you're the one that gets the views. And up until that point, everybody, like, let's just say you're second or third, which Yongya tends to be, like, second in that, because he's got the connections and all that. Then you'll see a bunch of comments going, oh, dude, you probably just ripped this from the original guy. He didn't. He went and did his homework.
Yeah, that's the other thing, is that he actually researches and tries to wait until there's more.
This is why I have respect for, like, Yongyas and Alpha, because it's not that they just go for the headline. And even Review Tech USA does this to some extent, where they will go and do their homework on it. Is it good? Is it bad? And explain both good and bad on their respective sides. And I have no idea where I'm going, so I'm just going to keep flying around with Flying Nimbus. So... But yeah, that's kind of the thing, is E3 has become a cluster F. Mm-hmm. It might as well be a con. And it might as well have vendors. Because that's the only way I could see E3 making any kind of money. And that's the sad reality, is like the purpose of E3 was to bring in the journalists, give them the stories, be able to get the proper reveals for your consoles, your games, all that stuff. And now it's taken advantage of.
Yeah, it's kind of run into... Especially since you also had other events like San Diego Comic-Con kind of stealing the thunder, where now you have companies both for movies and games doing promotions at things like Comic-Con or things like the Game Awards instead of at E3. Yeah. Heck, even TGS has been getting more traction as well, because it's a case of, hey, well, it's earlier in the year and we can get things a little bit more planned out for it.
It's a lot easier to justify even for like Microsoft to go there. You know?
Yeah, because Japan... They spend more money on video games than U.S. players, due in large part to things like inflation.
Mm-hmm. Plus, the other thing, too, is like when TGS happens, there's tons of stuff that tourists or gaming journalists going to TGS can do. Like, a lot of them will go and visit Super Potato. I know, like, on the week of TGS, Super Potato, like, runs a ton of sales and things like that. So, like, they want you in there. And they put out a lot of their prized merchandise on that week. They want to bring you in. So you've already got that. You've got tons of other things going on in the same area, I believe, as TGS. So there's a lot more motivation to do stuff like that. But now we're also looking at the possibility that gaming companies are just going to do streams.
Yeah.
It's easier for them to do it. They don't, like, all they have to do is pay a YouTuber, like, you know, say like Blizzard does. They look within their own community and they pay a YouTuber to host the event.
Yeah.
They pay them pittance, which is kind of sad, but...
Yeah, but that's because people still very much look down on online video.
Yep.
I mean, it's kind of one of those... The way someone posted it, and I'm kind of cleaning up in the context of the original post, but it's a case of, unless people can either co-opt it, copy it, or make money off of it, if they can't do any of those, then they'll belittle it and deride it in order to decrease its value.
Yeah. Okay, maybe sensing will tell me where I need to go. I have no idea. I'm flying around to make sure that I can find it, but yeah. So that's just kind of the reality of E3. I don't think it's going to be around in the next couple of years.
Or if it is, it won't be in the same way it was.
Yeah, it'll be like a Comic-Con. It'll be like that format.
Yeah, or it'll basically be like one of those trade shows no one really reports on, like NAB.
Mm-hmm. But Drak, it's also good for indie developers. Indie developers sometimes can't afford to go.
No, that's the honest truth, because
like indie developers pay through the nose to get space.
Yeah, And especially
unless they have the connections with the big companies. And
or if they like make some sort of partnership with companies like Microsoft or Sony or Nintendo to be showcased, which even then is not a guarantee, considering how a lot of these indie developers have to mark down their games to ridiculous discounts in order to get on the front page of the Nintendo eShop.
Exactly. So it's not even a guarantee for the indie gamer, for the indie devs, because it's kind of not in their best interest either. So that's just kind of the reality of the situation. But yeah, so getting sorry, we deflected because Sophia brought that up. So the Ricky Gervais speech. What was your take on it?
Honestly, it was pretty much just saying what everybody's been thinking for the past number of years, and I can even tell even Ricky Gervais is just getting kind of tired of it.
Well, yeah, I mean, he emphasized numerous times, like, I'm sick and tired of saying this, and I think he even kind of just basically said, look, I'm not going to be hosting...
Well, yeah, he pretty much was like, yeah, they're not going to bring me back, so I don't care.
Yeah, exactly. So he went truthful on a lot of it. And here's kind of my take on it. I think it was basically saying what a lot of fans have been wanting to say to Hollywood for years. Here's the problem. It fell on deaf ears.
It always does. I mean, and whenever anyone tries to discuss anything like that, it always falls on deaf ears because they only care when it starts affecting how much money they make.
Yeah, what Ricky said was good, and I hope it kind of sparks up a movement of some kind. What you're going to have to also emphasize is that unless they start seeing a major hit in their pocketbook, they're not going to listen, especially since they are getting hits in their pocketbook. How do they fix it? China.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing, because there was a video that I looked at. It was made, I don't know, it wasn't Eckart's Ladder. It was like a different channel it's a Star Wars channel. And he talked about, like, the struggle of why, kind of the futility of Disney trying to bring Star Wars to China. And he explained how when the first 3 films came out, they weren't even allowed to be shown. Yeah. And there was this bootleg Chinese comic where they basically had a basic summary of the plot, but then just had to draw their own imagery based on what they could glean from the summary. And then he kind of made a pretty interesting point where with Star Wars, much of its success in the modern movie market is nostalgia. That's pretty much what drives it. It's what drove the success of the prequel trilogy, and I'm talking the financial success, and what drove the financial success of the sequel trilogy is nostalgia for the original trilogy.
Yeah.
But with China, they never saw the original films, so stuff that makes sense to us as viewers because we know about the originals isn't going to make sense to a Chinese viewer. And so Disney's literally wasting their time trying to cater the Star Wars franchise to Chinese audiences when most audiences don't care in China.
Yeah, they don't know, they don't care. In some cases, they're kind of outright forced to be in those theaters, the way I understand it.
To a point, but not usually for anything foreign. Like, it's a case where if there's like a film that was funded by the Chinese Communist Party, those are usually the cases where they'd be forced. I mean, there was a notorious example of how, I think this was back when The Dark Knight was released in China, but there was also this very big war movie that the Chinese Communist Party had funded, and so what would happen, what the theater owners in China were told to do, is that whenever anyone ordered a ticket for any other movie, they would literally print the ticket for this war movie, then cross out the name, write the name of the movie they actually paid for, and then give it to the customer, so that way it would look like the Chinese war movie was actually selling well, in order to artificially inflate how much money it was making at the box office.
Mm-hmm. So that's just kind of the reality of the situation. It fell on deaf ears. They're still getting some level of money, and that's the only way to be able to get them to listen.
Yeah, that's why I kind of gave up on trying. Like, I still have my hopes of becoming a filmmaker and opening my own studio. It's just Hollywood is no longer the place to do it. I figured, okay, well, the Hollywood film scene is basically on its way out, so I'll just set it up here, and because we have a lot of talented actors, a lot of talented people here in Utah, we could just as easily make our own film industry here.
I'm glad you brought that up, because this gets brought up on the in the comments a few times when we do a podcast for the RSS feed or something like that, where, like, if you guys cared about being legitimate filmmakers and all that stuff, why don't you guys move out to the markets where they're demanded? We don't have to anymore.
The market's been changing.
Yeah.
Immensely. I mean,
Hollywood would like you to think that the best way to be able to become an actor of any kind is to come out to LA or New York. Which is not the case anymore.
Well, yeah, and I mean, to be fair, it is still very much a case where if you want to make it into one of the larger industries, you do have to go where the work is, but where the work is starting to change immensely. I mean, because, going to New York, if you want to be an actor in New York and you want to primarily do Broadway, New York is the best place to go, because New York, you do a couple stints on Law & Order when they just need a random, character, just an actor for a small bit part, but then you do mostly theater work, and with California, it's a case of, okay, well, you get work, but it's usually, I mean, if you happen to get on a TV show or a major movie, great, but more often than not, you're usually working on indie films or pilots that never get picked up.
Yeah, pretty much. So it's because the market changed, and primarily for the stuff that I try to get into, because I still would like to be able to do some voiceover, do some podcasting. Here's the thing: podcasting does not have a market space. It does not.
At least not to the degree that people think it does.
No. I like how a lot of people are like, well, Joe Rogan does it in California.
That's because he's Joe Rogan.
Because he's fucking Joe Rogan, and that's his choice. But do you know how many times he has said that he would much rather move his studio to Colorado?
Yeah.
He says it all the time. He's sick and tired of paying property costs in California.
Yeah, and plus Joe Rogan was established when he started his podcast. And it's also this case with a lot of the podcasts that are successful. It's usually because the people working on them are already established. Script Notes, John August and Craig Mazin were already professional, established screenwriters. And then you've also got, because it's something we even notice here where a lot of our local news stations have been doing podcasts now to kind of tie in with some of their news stories. But even then, podcasting is not as big of an industry as people think, because most of it is sponsorships.
But most of it can be done wherever, because 80% of your market is on the internet. So as long as you got the internet, you're good.
Yeah, and there was a documentary I watched on Netflix recently. It came out last year, and I highly recommend it. It's called Iron Hands and Kung Fu Kicks. It's a documentary about kind of the impact of the martial arts movies on the entertainment industry. And towards the end of the documentary, it has this huge section dedicated to the prevalence of people making action shorts on YouTube and getting work that way.
Yeah.
Which that's how Netflix actually got a number of performers for a lot of their for a lot of the movies that they fund to put on Netflix. A lot of the martial arts movies like Lady Blood Fight, it's because they found the people on YouTube.
Yeah.
And so I look at stuff like that because there are ideas I want to develop as a series or even as a feature film. And so I'm thinking, hey, well, I can shoot that here in Utah. I just need to get the talent, get the money, and actually do it because...
Talent, right here. Oh,
yeah.
But the other thing I also want to point out is, so for voiceover, back in the day, New York and LA and even Texas now would be considered markets. But here's the thing. The money-making market of voiceover is just online. All you have to do, here's the thing that you have to get used to when you're doing voiceover. You're a contractor. You're not going to get paid. Your taxes are not going to get paid in that regard.
You're basically a day player. I mean, that's how James Arnold Taylor puts it.
But if you think that, for example, I'm just going to try and throw out a random anime voice actor here. I don't want to say Vic Mignogna because Steve Bloom. Steve Bloom is an interesting example there because, what in between doing anime roles, because they don't come up as often as you think they do. He had to do shoe commercials and he had to do dog food commercials because that's how you pay throughout the year. That's your paying work right there.
Yeah, I mean, James Arnold Taylor on his YouTube channel on the Jat Show, he goes into a lot of detail about what it's actually like, and he routinely says hey, when you're a voice actor, you're a day player. You kind of gotta take where you can get, and even he himself has admitted, hey, I'm established enough in the industry that I can pick and choose my projects, but that is not how it is for voice actors. It's just James Arnold Taylor lucked into getting roles like Obi-Wan or Titus or Fred Flintstone, but he also
Ratchet,
as well as also being the announcer voice for shows on Fox. That's him. It blew my mind when I saw, because he uploaded a recording session. Because he basically worked with the producers and was like, okay, I do this thing on YouTube where I show people what it's like to record. And so they let him actually record the recording sessions because he works from home. He does all of his recording sessions from home. And he basically explains that, this is what it is. You basically...
Yeah, I mean, occasionally some companies will fly you out. They will absolutely fly you out. But there are also other times where they just want you to work from home. One of the things I still remember to this day, because it was such a big deal, was when Star Wars The Old Republic was happening. And they were touting themselves as being the first ever voiced MMO, completely voiced MMO. they demanded people work from home because they couldn't fly people out.
Yeah, because
I still remember popular voice actors going, "This is the cushiest job I've ever done because I can literally go to my couch 5 minutes later."
Yeah.
Okay, we are here, and I can't get off the damn cloud. Okay, so I'm going to bring up the prompt again, and we'll see if we can get off. Let's see, main menu, descend, ascend, change map. Okay, no. Okay. Search for key. Oh, is this not the guy?
No, I don't think
it's the guy.
I don't think that's the guy. That's a different icon.
Oh, okay. So bring up the map again. Damn it. We will get this right eventually. No, it's still here. It's just not this guy.
Yeah. Okay, so that,
I think this is Luca Village.
Well, yeah, because it said in the guide, it said, yeah, so it's Luca Village or in Laco Village.
Oh, there we go. Okay, so...
And the thing over his head said guide, because it has, like, the legend there of all the icons. So you want the giant orange exclamation point.
Yeah, which I thought I was getting, but no. Let's see. Zoom in. See, the problem is that the area restricts me, so I can't see it. So it says I'm in Laco Village. Is that what you're saying?
That's what it looked like.
Well, then at that point...
I'm confused.
I am too. Like, I can already tell you guys, your map system is broken. Like, if the sensing would be just like a prompt and tell you, like, where you need to go, then I'd be okay with it. But as you can see, like, no column of light. Nothing telling me where to go.
Yeah, and those icons, that's the icon for, like, the grocer, the guide, so not quite what you're looking for.
Let me go over to these islands. Maybe I'll get more of a...
Yeah, and it doesn't
sensing.
really do a good job of, like, giving any sort of landmark or anything.
No, that's already, like, a big worry for me. I'm already not happy about it. But there you go. So the other thing that I also want to get into, speaking of game journalism, did you follow the Target Tory story?
Nope.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm going to tell you this. It might come up on the podcast. I'm not sure yet. So this literally happened over the weekend, but a games journalist by the name of David Levitt went into his local Target in Massachusetts.
Nice weather.
Oh, good. I'm glad that you guys like the weather. So he went into his local Target, and he decided to try and pull off a scam in his local Target. So in order to do, like, for the sake of inventory, they actually have to put everything on a UPC. All right? I've seen various stores do it this different ways, but he noticed that one of the display electric toothbrushes, which he needed, which is a display model, and it actually says on the UPC, display model, it's for 1 cent.
Hey.
Right below it is the actual UPC price, which is $100. So he then decides, I'm going to go up to the checker and say, no, actually, this is priced for 1 cent. And then gets mad when they correct him and say, no, it's actually for $100. This is the display model. And he basically makes this whole thing a deal. And then decides, after confronting the manager, to make it a thing on Twitter. He takes a picture of the manager, who he's talking to, and basically tries to shame her. Say, shame on Target Tory, hashtag Target Tory, because she will not let me buy a toothbrush, because apparently he is so broke he can't afford a toothbrush right now. Okay. This blows up in his face because the internet all comes in with common sense. And oh my gosh, it was kind of a sight to see, where he was even saying, like, no, I haven't been able to afford to go to the dentist for 3 years. I'm like, so, which I have problems getting, because when you look into his earlier tweets, like, he actually bragged about the fact that he got his local dentist to turn off Fox News that day. It's like, so are you broke enough to go to the dentist, or are you not?
Yeah, and honestly, looking at that, it's just, why?
Yeah. But what's funny is here was the internet's response to him. They basically like shoved their collective foot in his mouth, or he did anyway. And the guy decided to go do a GoFundMe for Target Tory. It was literally called "Give Target Tory a Vacation." That GoFundMe earned $16,000. And he actually got in contact with Target Tory, and he's going to give her the $16,000. Like, this thing that was supposed to be such a bad deal for this manager actually turned out to be something pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Like, I almost want to applaud the internet. Like, they turned on this guy collectively, but at the same time, they turned out to do this really cool, awesome, charitable thing for this manager who, in the picture, just looks like she's not having a good day. Like, you've had that day, right?
Yep. I used to be in customer service, so I can relate.
So at that point, I'm just like, that's the best part about it. They do a GoFundMe. It hits $16,000. And by the way, the games journalist is not happy about that. Wants it taken down. And yeah, so like, you got this really weird happy ending out of it, but it was awesome. Oh, I know what you're asking, Sophia. Have you ever heard of... We heard about him last night. It's a channel called Glorygeist.
Doesn't really ring a bell.
He's a gaming channel that has like about 3,000 subs right now. And since Sophia is such a big fan of Devil May Cry, guess what his most recent Let's Play is?
I'm guessing DMC5.
DMC5, yeah. So... Have you heard of him before I actually told you about him?
Nope.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Although I do stuff on YouTube, I'm not actually that well informed about what happens on YouTube aside from the stuff that really blows up. And that's just mostly because I've been trying to filter out what I cover and what I look at on my off time.
Nice weather.
I'm getting the feeling Piccolo is just getting so annoyed. He's just like, this idiot doesn't know where the hell we're going.
That's all right. I don't know where we're going. This is getting ridiculous, guys. Like, I can't find where we're supposed to go, and I'm in this limited area. Like, I have no idea why on earth I can't just... Well, hey, Bandai Namco, you effed up on this one.
Yeah, need me to drive for a while?
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and drive for a little bit, because I don't want to hog the controller either.
All right. Okay, so
there we
that's
go.
how it works.
And you can take on the Raditz fight and all that, because, you know, we're supposed to be trying this out for you. Although I have a feeling you've kind of made up your mind on this one.
Yeah, I'll probably do my usual trick where I'll probably buy it at a discount at Redbox.
Yeah,
which,
probably.
Again, I've been letting as many people know about. It's like, hey, if there's a game you want, Redbox offloads their stock, so you can get it for like at least like $15 off or so.
Yeah.
That's how I got my copy of Death Stranding, which I recently finished, and you're
probably happy you got it discounted.
Yeah, and I'm tempted to do like a full-on Red Letter Media review of Death Stranding, because I have opinions, lots of them.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure if I'd want to commit to the whole, like, Death Stranding is the most disappointing thing since my son sort of bit.
Yeah, no, not really.
I've watched the Red Letter Media reviews of the prequel trilogy so much that I have, like, that opening line is just memorized it.
Oh, yeah. It's...
Okay.
See, it's one of those things where, like, I have no problem letting Death Stranding stand on its own merit, because it's at least some... It's Kojima stepping out of Metal Gear, which Konami wouldn't let him do. And so at that point, if it means that we have to wait a little bit for him to go work on something else, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I heard the rumor is that that the next project they're going to do is that they're basically going to do a film, not a game for like the next thing.
I'm okay with that. Let's get the filming stuff out of his system, and then maybe we'll get some interesting gameplay from him.
Well, sort of. I just worry, just given the way the story of Death Stranding pans out. Oh, that's cool. Doing the spin that's what you're supposed to do with those large rings, is that you do the spin.
Oh, okay.
There
we go.
Let's try this way.
See, that's kind of what I'm thinking, is if we go to these areas, like these islands, maybe we'll get something showing up. If you're looking for beast meat, then look no further. All right. Yeah, and I don't see a village on this island either. Okay. Whoa!
Okay.
Oh, and really quick, because somebody did actually ask me last night, and I forgot to get back to you guys. What the hell happened with the podcast? Okay. So, I made the promise that the podcast on Friday was going to come out at the exact right time. And here's basically what happened. For some reason, my save got corrupted. And I lost 3/4 of my work on editing the podcast. I literally came on, and the most recent save that I was allowed to use was about 20 minutes into editing the podcast. So I had to basically from 7 o'clock to about 10 o'clock, edit the podcast, get it out to its necessary places, and that's why you guys got it so late. The RSS feed got it first, and then YouTube got it next. So there you go. That's what happened. The podcast is up in both of those regards.
Yeah.
So
that's something that happens with technology.
I hate it when it happens too, because it's like,
it's nice when it works.
All that hard work for nothing.
Yeah, I made this joke to someone at work earlier today. This is how the machines will take over. Not by, detonating the nukes, but by annoying us to death.
And it will work. That plan will work. Okay, I'm going to step off camera for just a second, because we got to get this thing on a charger. Okay. So
all right.
Continue to read the chat.
All right, so let's see if I can figure out where the heck we're supposed to go. I'm going to make my way back to the Kame house, and then we'll navigate.
Yeah, maybe we'll get a tip as to where.
Yeah.
No. I'm here with you, Romney, in spirit.
In spirit. Okay. Alright, so we've explored those islands.
Okay, now that we can see you guys' chat, this'll work.
Alright, so I'm gonna try.
This is already not a good unveiling of this game because we can't figure out where the next task is. We know what we're gonna go do! Did Kame House have anything for us?
No, but I figured, that I would use that to kind of get reoriented and thinking about what we've explored and what we haven't.
All right, that sounds like a plan.
Okay, so this is north of Kame House.
Now, I'm also going to bring up this story really quick because this will not make the podcast, but I kind of wish that we could. The main reason it can't is because it literally resolved itself it started in 2019 and it resolved itself in 2019. And I don't want to go back. Kind of thing. Did you by chance follow any of the situation with Susie Lou?
Nope.
Oh my gosh. So the channel Susie Lou had a bit of a meltdown throughout this year. And long story short...
Oh, there we go.
Okay.
We were supposed to go to the edge.
What the hell? Alright, well... Let's get ourselves to Luca Village, then. So, Susie Lou is a gaming channel. Or at least it was, up until later this year. And, let's just say Susie Lou likes to just basically make content that she thinks will bring people to her channel, that will get her into the trending box. For example, she actually streamed, or she actually, I don't want to say pirated, but she got a BBC stream of the 2016 election, and she has it on her video feed. So, she had the election stream up there, and at that time, if you had anything involving with the election, you were going to get into the trending box on YouTube. So she was doing that, and then she also had a bunch of other game stuff on there. And but when somebody had something going up involving her, she would then flag the channel for copyright, because they didn't ask her permission to use her likeness. Even though it was in the context of parody. So, for example, one of them was she played through the VR demo of The Last Guardian, and somebody decided to take the footage of it, and when she starts crying at the end, put up the Michael Jackson, or not Michael Jackson, Michael Jordan meme of like, stop, get some help.
This thing's giving off a lot
And
of
she got
energy.
mad, flagged the video, and said he did not have permission to use his likeness, or to use her likeness. So this is an ongoing thing that happens throughout the year, and you find out that like all the things that she's accusing other people of, she has done in the past. Well, then she decides that she's going to go ahead and stream anime episodes.
Oh boy.
Full anime episodes. Or not stream them, but record her reaction to them. How is she going to avoid copyright? She's going to change the opacity of the video so that it's just barely visible. But beat for beat, you are seeing episodes of Naruto, My Hero Academia, things like that. And here's how it gets worse for her. YouTube Rewind 2019 happened, and she was featured.
Oh, Lord.
And she decided to thank YouTube for featuring her. A couple days later, she has a bunch of copyright strikes on her channel from all the creators of these anime.
Kakarot's kid.
She then demands that YouTube take her out of the YouTube Rewind. Yeah, good luck with that. They're not going to go and edit you out. And then immediately says, like, you guys have made my life a personal living hell, etc., etc., etc. And long story short, she got her channel taken down. Like 3 strikes, you're out from these various companies. And she's still complaining to this day about it, especially since, and this is the part you're going to love, she doesn't understand why they had a problem. I mean, after all, Funimation okayed it and Crunchyroll okayed it. Why would these other people have a problem? Would you like to take that, Romney?
Where is he? You're hiding him. Screaming was giving me a headache, so I locked him up in there.
I think that line that Radis just said just kind of summarizes everything.
Yes, her screaming was, in fact, giving me a headache.
And so YouTube locked her up in there.
But forget about the rut. Don't tell me.
We could just let Raditz just kind of summarize it.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Yeah. Here's why it was a big thing. And why Funimation didn't care. Funimation was the distributor, not the actual rights holder. This is the distributor and the dubber.
Oh boy.
Studio Piero is the one that owns Naruto, which a majority of these were you watching Naruto Shippuden. Like, yeah, the studio is the one that claimed you, the actual owner, not the distributor. So, long story short, she doesn't have a YouTube channel anymore, and frankly, as far as I'm concerned, good riddance to bad rubbish. You kind of deserved everything that came your way. Okay, well, at least, I mean, this is a little bit more action-packed than the previous fights we've done. Which you would expect Raditz to be, because he's supposed to be a difficult fight at this point.
Okay.
See, now we're getting somewhere. Yeah, trust me when I say this. We've got a lot of stuff next week for the podcast that we have to do some catching up on. Because, as Romney has put it so eloquently before, when we take breaks, that's when the internet explodes. And it decides to... like, that's when the internet shit hits the fan. And that's when we have to report on stuff.
Yeah, somehow I got an S rank and I had no idea what the hell I was doing.
Same here. I think it was the Piccolo fight that gave me an A. No, that was the one that gave me an A. Crap, what was it that gave me an S?
The Krillin fight?
Yeah, the clone Krillin fight.
You gotta be kidding me. You know what? Since you're going to
Yeah, I gotta say, so far I'm not impressed.
No, not really.
I mean, as a Dragon Ball game, it's like, it looks amazing, but...
It's good.
It's just, it plays like a bajillion other games that I already own.
Well, and it just seems to me like they're trying to copy the Xenoverse formula, and I hope that they're not copying the part that nobody loved, which was the
I'm
RNG.
fresh out.
Like, it's just not enough to bring me in with just Raditz to boo.
Yeah.
And the side quests that they have not been awesome. I must go and experience them.
Easier just to lie down and wait for the sweet release of death.
I'm just gonna need enough time to charge.
Okay, I see what's going on. I'm gonna have to basically survive while Piccolo charges the attack.
Yeah.
Keep him busy while I deal with this.
Got it. I'll do
So
what I can.
the joke that we make here is I'm charging my attack. I love it. We got it wrong. We got it right there.
You alone?
Are you holding a grudge, Goku? No, it's just gonna take this long.
My power.
I love that. Boom! Oh,
Okay,
jeez.
they seriously are turning this into a bullet hell game.
Okay, that was kind of a cool attack. It's better than any of the interpretations in like the Budokai Tenkaichi or Budokai games did.
Yeah, but do we seriously need a Dragon Ball game turning into a Toho clone?
No. No, we really don't. See, like, here's the struggle that's going on in my head. Which would I rather want to play? This or Fighters? And I'm like sitting here in my head going, Fighters sounds really great right now. Compared to what we're doing. And I shouldn't do that. I should be very invested in this game. And I'm kind of not. That's why like I'm looking at my phone right now. Is because it's like, okay, whatever.
Rock, paper, scissors. Don't worry, Gohan. Daddy's gonna save you.
Oh, and another thing that we might actually bring up on the podcast, Apu is officially booted. Or at least Hank Azaria will no longer voice him.
Well, I mean, by this point, The Simpsons just... And this isn't so much because, oh, it needs to end because of Apu. It's just, The Simpsons is getting to the point where they just need to stop.
They do. I actually think Disney... It might be a good idea that Disney got The Simpsons, because they'll urge that they wrap things up.
Although it's weird, they say they're going to be rebranding 20th Century Fox as 20th Century Pictures. But the funny thing is that was actually the company's name back in the 20s.
Yeah.
Like, people may not realize this. It wasn't always 20th Century Fox. You had 20th Century Pictures, and you had and then you had Fox Studios, founded by William Fox. Then William Fox bought 20th Century Studios, renamed it 20th Century Fox, and so now Disney's just bringing it full circle. Either someone doesn't know either someone is enjoying the irony, or it's just they're not as well informed. And I
Kamehameha his ass? I don't know. I don't even see a timer up on there.
My power.
okay.
There
Thanks,
we go.
Bulma.
Yay! Vita drinks. They are very helpful. I hope we don't have to like take him down because I don't see a timer.
I don't either. I think we do have to like take it down to basically.
Yeah. Oh man. I'm gonna say 2020. If this is the starting game that I pick up, then there's not a lot of promise.
Yeah.
But thankfully, I know of a.
Maybe this is why everything else is being delayed.
Pretty much, like. Well, but see, here's the thing. January is also kind of a doldrum.
Yeah, it's very much a dead zone for media in general.
Yeah, I would actually say it's like a high point for indie games. Like a lot of really good indie games come out in January. Perfect example, Celeste. Celeste came out in January and it was perfect.
Yeah, but then again, like movies, games, the stuff that comes out in January.
Mm-hmm. In fact, one of the things I remember hearing was before it got delayed into June, Iga wanted Bloodstained to either be a January or a February release. And so at that point, like that's like perfect for indie games. Because at that point, there's no major games that are on our radar. We're not worried about like major movies, because a lot of horror movies come out around this time.
Yeah, but it's mostly because all the big budget stuff has moved on, and everyone's broke. Because you get a lot of really bad movies coming out in January as well. Like a good example most recently would be Doolittle, which has just been getting torn to shreds.
Torn apart, but I still want to see it. Because I saw the trailer and I'm like, dude, I still like Robert Downey Jr.'s acting.
Yeah,
so.
It's just, at least the reviewer that I saw, because again, I mentioned I work for a news organization that has their own critic.
Yep.
And
and by the way, stop asking people. I can't tell you. We had a few people asking, can you guys just give us a hint as to who he worked? No.
No, because it's literally a company policy thing.
Uh-huh. And I've kept that stuff secret before, so I'm not gonna break that. But
yeah, I mean, basically, from what I've heard, apparently there was a number of like reshoots and stuff that caused issues, like with Robert Downey Jr. having to redub his lines, and it was also a case where, like, from what I've heard, they basically say it's one of those kids' films where they're just not quite sure what they're doing, that the plot is too dense and stuff like that. I mean,
so basically the Eddie Murphy Dr. Dolittle.
Yeah, except they're trying to be faithful to the original. So yeah, it's like they can't quite decide what they want to be. Is the general consensus I see.
I still want to see it because again, it's Robert Downey Jr. Speaking of, that actually reminds me. I need to go watch the episode of the Joe Rogan Experience he did.
Okay, I somehow survived.
I don't know how he pulled it off with Disney having such a stranglehold on him.
Well,
but he got onto the Joe Rogan Experience.
Well, people forget actors are still technically free agents.
Yeah, they can still do some things.
And I know with Dr. Dolittle, it wasn't distributed by Disney, and so it's also a case of if they try to stop him, Robert Downey Jr. is just like, what the hell you think you're gonna do? Pay me more money?
Yeah, exactly. Like, what are you gonna do? Pay me more money to keep me quiet? I want to go and do this.
He's got that much control over his energy.
You let your guard down. Now I got your tail.
Please let me go.
Damn it.
Okay.
When did you?
Good work, Goku. Hold on to that tail and don't let go no matter what.
Wait. Let me go. I'll leave this planet in peace.
Don't listen to him, Goku. He's trying to trick you.
Please,
You just want to impale him.
believe me, brother.
You know, I just wonder what would have happened if, like, Goku just accidentally just yanked the tail off.
I can't believe you fell for it.
Yeah, you kind of deserve that, Goku. Even seeing it for the 5th time now, you deserve that.
Yeah. And it's time for Gohan's Pokemon moment.
That's what I like to hear. It'll all be over soon.
Or the joke that I've seen a lot of people make is the Azura's Wrath moment for him.
Yeah.
I can't remember who did it, but somebody put like the Azura's Wrath burst on him, and then he goes out.
Gohan, use headbutt.
It was super effective. Oh my gosh.
What is this kid?
Your nephew.
That
what he
raises
is.
the question, like, Gohan's head must be, like, really, really, really hard. I guess it may be a Saiyan thing.
It might be. I mean, they're kind of bred for war, and he's technically half Saiyan. So
Yeah. I mean, considering that the armor cracked, I mean...
yeah. Flawless victory. Fatality.
Except it's not a flawless victory, because Piccolo
No.
took damage.
So you got an S for one, and you got a B for the other.
Yep, and it pretty much breaks down. You've got completion time, max combo,
Okay, yeah.
and then damage. And
Yeah,
so
that makes
because I
sense.
was getting my butt handed to me on the second fight,
Now it makes more sense.
And now I am the dad.
Possible.
For a second there, I had to look for the hole just a little bit. I was like, wait, where's the hole?
I can't.
Like, did they forget to add the hole?
Just were.
Oh, God. That just made me think that movie's coming out in a month.
I can't.
Yeah.
Kakarot would just throw away his own life. You idiot. Trust me, Goku won't be dead for very long.
He has plot armor.
What? Didn't you know? This planet is home to the Dragon Balls. They grant wishes. Absolutely any wish imaginable. Even bringing someone back from the dead.
I love the fact that they say that,
Damn it.
and yet still in Dragon Ball Super, the Super Dragon Balls can also do that, but yet they're somehow supposed to be more powerful.
Can you say power creep, children?
Oh, yeah.
Everything you just said was transmitted to them.
But I guess that kind of happened with Turunga first.
Universe.
It's like, I can bring people to life, but only one.
Well, I mean, like, it was very much a case of because the Earth Dragon Balls, you can only do it once, and so it's like, oh, well, if we use them from another planet, they're exempt from that rule.
Yeah.
And then, yeah.
Oh, welcome, Robin. Robin's Review World.
Long until then.
All right, well, to explain
creep?
to explain what power creep is, it's basically where in shonen series and in various things where you just have things get stronger and stronger, where there's just this constant escalation.
Dragon Ball's a perfect example of this.
Yes, very much so. Like Dragon Ball, anything published by Shueisha. Dragon Ball, Naruto, One Piece. I mean, it's something that you even see in games like Yu-Gi-Oh! Where
Oh, and welcome, Zero. I forgot. Sorry, this is what happens when I have to charge the tablet. Is like, I don't have it right here. Is that I have to go look back at the chat. Sorry. I keep interrupting Romney.
Yeah, this thing needs like an auto thing instead of having to just press it through each time.
It's because it's like the show. It takes three episodes worth for a short fight. Yes.
Yep. Although, it's kind of funny. The whole reason that was a thing is because during the Frieza saga, they literally kept catching up to the manga. And so they had to drag the fight out as long as possible while waiting for Toriyama to end it.
Yep.
That was the whole reason that was a thing.
Sophia, you asked about Suzy Liu, but you didn't say what your question was. What was it?
It was like, oh, wow, you got a new host in your house. And that was just it was a joke, I'm assuming.
Oh, okay. Yes, I'm hosting
much
Suzy
it.
Liu.
Come on,
I would
Goku.
never let her in.
Hang in there.
Because
It's not like you to give up.
So the
I'm
only
going to tell you right here and now, if I ever met Suzy Liu, I don't think we'd ever get along.
I think the only way that you would host her is if she was a spirit and accidentally possessed you.
Crap.
Or if she
That's
became like
possible.
either that or if she became like a symbiote.
It's a lot
And
worse
you're
than I
just stuck in
thought.
like some weird Eddie Brock scenario, except instead of, a powerful alien, it's a YouTuber whose channel doesn't exist.
Instead of having the insatiable desire to eat, I'd have the insatiable desire for makeup.
And attention.
Because she like pumps the makeup on, man. No.
Thank you.
Yeah. It's interesting that they still stick with the censorship. I mean, I understand why. It's because a lot of people think, oh, Funimation censored the gore, but...
didn't like the original uncut version have like a big blood splatter?
It did,
when
but
it did.
the censorship wasn't imposed by Funimation, it was imposed by Toei.
Yeah.
Specifically because the Japanese government kind of had their own thing with it, and it also would affect the zero rating. So the changes in Dragon Ball Kai and like subsequent re-airings, that was Toei's call, not Funimation.
Which I could get. Kids shows should not have like a Mortal Kombat fatality level of blood.
It's because the main difference is that with Dragon Ball Z, when it first ran, it aired on Wednesday nights during a primetime slot.
Yeah.
Whereas with Kai and Super, it airs in a Saturday morning time slot. The comparison I always give is like, imagine if you were to take the show like the new MacGyver, move it from its Friday night primetime time slot to Saturday mornings.
Yeah.
And then somehow still expect it to be the same show.
Yeah.
Because that's what happened with the Super Sentai series, and that's why the Super Sentai series has its idiosyncrasies, because Jetman aired in a primetime slot, but Zyuranger was when they moved it to Sunday mornings.
But she hasn't finished Persona 5 yet. Suzy Liu was working on Persona 5. Well, I hate to tell you this, Sophia. She's not going to be able to finish it. She doesn't have a channel anymore.
And she didn't see it coming.
No.
Me training this little runt is our best shot.
She did not. She underestimated the power of actual owners of anime.
She underestimated the power of copyright law.
What's so surprising about that story is, like, you'd think that this would be Anime 101 by now. If you want to be an anime channel, the first thing that you figured out is you cannot show minute-for-minute episodes. You can't do it. Like, I do games, and I've occasionally given my opinion on anime and stuff like that. I think you've done that too.
Yeah.
And we both have learned this while not doing it. Is like, we can't show everything about this anime. We have to show different clips.
We have to, like, cut it down, and even if within that fair use context, people will still try to... I mean, my Highlander review got taken down twice because of how much I had shown, even when I just had very narrow amounts of dialogue.
And what's funny is like, when I started out, I did not have that much understanding about copyright law. That would be like a year later when I was in classes that I would get much more knowledge about copyright law. She didn't have this?
Yeah, but as the saying goes, ignorance of the law is not an excuse for violating the law. And so I'm willing... I don't know much about the scenario, but I'm willing to think that she probably is feigning ignorance and not necessarily that she actually was ignorant.
Probably. And it doesn't help that her boyfriend from the UK, who claims that he is a copyright attorney, yet when he quotes copyright law, it doesn't match up with either US or UK, where I believe he's certified. So,
yeah.
And he also made the same excuse, like, well, Funimation didn't have any problems with it. Funimation doesn't add into it. Yeah, sure, Funimation can claim you, but if you go and get permission from Toei, that can override it.
Yeah, and it's also just a case where just because they didn't issue a takedown doesn't necessarily mean they gave their approval. That's the other thing. I mean, there's a lot of channels that are up that have copyrighted content. Just because they haven't taken it down yet doesn't mean they have approval. That's the other key distinction, because, again, there are several channels on YouTube. Like, people are uploading thousands of hours of video per day.
Yeah.
Mahogany. Strip. Strip. Nice. Raccoon thanks you.
Therefore, if it is agreeable to you, King Yema, I humbly ask that you allow him to meet with
Yeah, it
King
sounds like Sabat's phoning this in. Like, it doesn't sound too much like Kami. It sounds... It just sounds like... It's like, oh, wait, what was his voice again? I can't remember.
Yeah.
I think it's like this.
Oh, dude, a lot of his side character roles for a while now have sounded like that.
Yeah, I guess...
he just doesn't care anymore.
That's probably what it is. That and I think I'm just too used to the Dragon Ball Abridged voice.
If you wish to see King Kai, then
I wish they gave more stuff for Abridged King Yema to do.
Well,
Denise, is that my wife? Leave me alone! You already took the kids!
Well, yeah, but just like, I'm the closest thing to a god in this series. Until you get to the Kais. Then I'm pretty inconsequential.
Yep. And I kind of wish that they'd find a way to bring King Yema back.
Yeah.
By the way,
I mean, they found a way for Kami to remain relevant after he gets absorbed.
Yes, we've got him marked down for hell, of course.
did he put up much of a
That's
fight?
like the best part about the latter end of the Cell Saga. It's just like, well, isn't that precious? Just having the internal monologue with Nail and Piccolo.
Must be one heck of a strong guy.
No, Goku, don't pick a fight with the devil.
So, you were sent along with him, huh?
Oh, are they going to show
I am
them?
the great King Yema.
Is it going to be Hiffle on their shirt, or is it going to be Hell?
Well, he said hell in an earlier line of dialogue.
Okay, alright.
So.
Alright.
Do you know what that means?
That means you're crazy strong, right?
You don't seem to understand what I'm saying. Of course I'm strong,
Mahogany.
but it's not just
That's
my
actually
strength that
really
sets me in
close
this
to the
position.
voice.
You need brains to do this kind of managerial work.
I'm just saying, right here and now, if Kakarot comes out on PC, I want a Team 4-star mod.
It's probably not going to happen,
No.
because,
No.
I mean, given what they went through with the channel nearly getting taken down by Toei.
Well, kind of like what we
twice.
said in one of our previous podcasts is like, okay, here's the thing. Bandai Namco is based in Japan, which means Toei can go up and complain.
And not just Toei, Shueisha. as well.
Shueisha can do it too. So it will never happen. Welcome, Rising Sun. Drak is streaming, and it's not close to midnight. Alas, this isn't Android. No, it's not. No, it is not, Rising Sun. It's okay, though, because Romney's still awesome.
Okay, I'll take
I
the
try to be.
quiz.
I'm just really good at faking it.
Why didn't you say that from the beginning?
That's basically what people have told me on YouTube. Fake it till you
Anyway,
make it.
Let's begin. I'll let you through if you can answer all of my questions correctly.
No, where was Radicet? Hell, yes.
That's right. He made a mess of enough planets to earn himself a place in hell.
No, it's
In fact, he's one of the biggest pains we
I should probably take this more as an
Oh
insult.
boy, King Yama. You just wait until Goku sends you more people. Just wait till you get the Ginyus.
Oh,
Right. Next question.
who is more powerful?
Correct. Of course I am. I am much more powerful.
Well, until we get to the Kais.
Yes.
Isn't that right?
And then you have to deal with all the rankings of them.
Ah, yes. King
Faking
Yama.
awesome is
You are
most of
more
what being awesome is all about. Damn right.
Right. Next question.
Who is judged here after death?
That's right. No matter where they're
I mean, this
from,
is a universe
all
where you have,
who
like,
die
dog
come
people and
here.
cat people.
But don't they have a weird distinction there? Because,
Like
like,
your
for some
brother,
reason,
he
Frieza
wasn't
never
an
thought he'd
Earth-
end up in Earth's hell? Or is that just a hiccup?
Honestly, I don't even know. I don't think even Toriyama knows.
That's like my favorite scene from, like, it's the only scene that's worth it to me in Resurrection F, is seeing all the cute cuddly
Not
bunnies marching
bad.
around Frieza.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Those pesky Dragon Balls are indeed how you do it.
Well, that or you can, use dark magic.
Indeed.
I hate those things. It's like my job doesn't even matter.
Because it doesn't.
It really doesn't. Welcome to the world of Dragon Ball, where death has no single consequence.
Care to shed some light on that, Kami?
Oh, King Yama,
Whatever. Moving on.
Whatever. Which question is this? Fifth? Oh, dang. We didn't get it right.
Sorry, but that's incorrect.
Huh?
What?
This is the fifth question, right?
Really? 1, 2, 3. Of course it was. I was just testing you.
Yes, I totally knew that was going to be the response. I wasn't completely guessing.
Yes.
You passed the test.
Yay! We win.
Well, that was the true fifth question.
I see they're copying Naruto now.
Yes.
With that whole ambiguous, oh, here's a question that'll be given later in the test that turns out isn't actually, a thing. But just a scare tactic.
trademarked
Wow, I'm
denial
old.
of his.
That's like really, really early Naruto.
I heard that, Kami.
I heard that, Kami.
Maybe I'll send you to hell when it's your time.
Nope. Well,
Please
technically,
forgive me, Your Highness.
well, I mean, if GT is still canon, technically, but
Boy, he's got
Oh,
one
yeah, 'cause Piccolo
hell
went to
of
hell.
a sense of
yeah,
humor.
and had to stay there.
Yeah, but he wasn't chosen to be in hell. He went down there.
Yeah, he
and
went
just
down
decided
there
to
so that
stay
way he
there.
could get Goku out, basically.
Yeah, and then he just decided to stay there.
Well, partially it was also because they couldn't bring him back.
Yeah.
That's enough of all this. I will allow you to see King Kai.
Wow, really? Thanks a bunch, Mr. Yama.
Don't tell me you've forgotten who you're talking to.
No, Mister, I'm King Yama. I haven't.
That's more like it. If you're going to
Please
see
don't
King
tell me we
Kai,
actually
then
have to go across Snake Way.
Well, I mean, they gotta work in the Princess Snake side plot somehow.
Well, this is where we part ways. Good luck.
Speaking of another good moment in
Thanks.
In the
I'm not
abridged
really
series.
sure what to expect.
Yeah.
To meet this king.
What's funny is like over my break, I watched a lot of DBZ Abridged, but I also watched a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged just to get myself refreshed on that. Oh my gosh, the jokes that I forgot about. Like the fact that Weevil and Rex Raptor are basically Beavis and Butthead within that continuity.
Yeah.
Hey, Weevil. But okay, I'm about to say something that's probably going to upset a lot of people. I know that Little Karibo started the whole abridging kind of thing. At least to my knowledge, he's like the first one. Team 4-Star do so much better.
Yeah,
than
but I mean,
him.
they have brought Little Karibo on. So it's not even like a,
Oh no, but what I'm saying is like as far as writing, I would actually say Team 4-Star is a little bit better than him, especially when he's playing Frieza.
I think it's because the main thing is that with Team 4-Star, you've got at least like 2 writers, whereas Little Karibo, it's just him.
Yeah, it's just him. So at that point, you have people to bounce off of. But here's the other thing. I have actually wondered if in the later seasons, Little Karibo did bounce his ideas off people, because the writing gets a little bit better.
I'm sure he probably, especially as like the group kind of grew and as everybody kind of got interconnected. I'm sure even during the process of like directing the voices and everything, he probably got some feedback.
Yep. So at that point, like it's one of those things why I always love Team 4-Star over him. Is like their writing is amazing, and DBZ Abridged is great, but Hellsing is going to be forever my favorite. Just so many good jokes in that.
Yeah, and I mean there are some smaller abridgers who carve out niches for themselves. I mean, Antfish kind of cornered the JoJo thing, except Part 4 they kind of handed off to the one who won the abridgment contest thing. And they actually kind of made it like, okay, it's in canon with Antfish's abridged series for JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Like, they even make a joke of, like, why do you, like, where when Josuke is talking to Jotaro in, like, the Diamond is Unabridgeable, and she's like, why does your voice sound different in the flashback? Because they actually used the audio from Antfish. Like, he gave them permission to use it, and she's like, why does your voice sound different?
Exactly. But I will say that there's a lot of abridges out there that are bland, to say the least. Like, I just barely saw a bridge of Digimon and Inuyasha, and they are bland can be.
Yeah.
In fact, Andrea was making the joke a couple of right before Christmas, like, you guys ought to do an abridging again, and you ought to take on something like Digimon.
I mean, people have asked me, but it's just a case of 1, time, and 2, finding a show that isn't going to get immediately blocked or taken down. Because our Lodos Abridged series, people couldn't see it for a long while, and we had no idea, and that was because Kadokawa had blocked it worldwide. Because Kadokawa owns Lodos. And I've actually been trying to find anime series for us to abridge where that isn't an issue, but if it's not Kadokawa, it's TMS. If it's not TMS, it's Stars Media, which owns Manga Entertainment.
No.
If it's not one thing, it's another, so... I mean, for people who are wanting us to do another one, I've been looking.
Yeah, like, I'm not... what I'm saying is I don't think we're against the idea. It's just trying to find one that isn't blocked off or something like that. We definitely have to utilize someplace other than YouTube.
Indeed.
To put it up. And it would have to be a side. It would have to be a side project compared to all the other things that we're doing.
Yeah.
Because I mean, right now, like
we've got this little walk cycle.
Oh yeah.
So sad.
Oh. So yeah, that's kind of the reason is why we can't do it, because we have day jobs, and on top of that. I hate to say it again, but it's fact. I have kids. And on top of that, we also have our other projects that we're trying to do on our own channels.
Yeah, and even some of the people we had on board for the last one are no longer in Utah. Some people have moved, so...
Yeah, exactly. So at that point, like, we can't utilize them. And what I would also love to be able to do is bring in some of the other friends on YouTube that we have. But some of them don't have good mic setups. So... I can't, like, put out extra money to them to go and get proper mic setups. So that would be another hard thing, too. That's kind of another one of my problems of, like, I've gotten asked with the Geek News Theater, why don't you bring all these other friends that you have? The sad reality is that some of you guys just don't have quality sound studios, so I can only do so much to make you not sound like you're on the phone.
Yeah. And which, I mean, sometimes you can make it work for the purpose of, like, humor or something.
Yeah.
But even then, that kind of gimmick can only go so far.
Yep. And on top of that, we would need to, like, have probably all of us on the writing team just to be able to make sure that we get really good jokes.
Yeah, because, again, with the abridged one...
I've actually been tempted to do that with Geek News Theater because, you know, I love writing Geek News Theater, but I'm starting to notice one problem. I'm using a lot of jokes that only I would use. And so I've been kind of tempted to probably bring you in to just vary up the jokes.
Yeah.
Because that way, it's not going to be rinse, lather, repeat of what everybody would expect Drak to laugh at. So we might have to do that, and then, you know, trying to do an abridge, we'd have to have all three of us to make sure that we're getting a variety of jokes.
Yep.
The little brat dies here, and that's all he'd ever amount to. A little brat.
And even then, I want to bring a fourth person in there. Probably not Brinton. I'd probably go for another person who's looking to start up a writing career.
Yeah. And that's the other thing. It's just really, it's time, resources.
Yep.
And I mean, I've said it before, YouTube is clearly not on our side, so...
No, I will say, like, for some of my projects, I've been very tempted to go to places like BitChute and put videos there, because A, it's a smaller audience, so we'd probably have an easier go of it. And then the other thing, too, is we'd have another place to be able to put this up where we might have the possibility of earning something from it.
Yeah. And plus, at least with my experience, with the amount of time it would take to try to find something to abridge is also energy that I would also like to put towards doing something original, because at least there, I don't have to worry about YouTube trying to bend me over the table.
Yeah. But again, like, you know, that takes time, that takes effort, all that stuff. It would be more worth it to be able to do that when we have something guaranteed in there.
Yep. I mean, and it's not like I've just been idle. I mean, I have scripts I've been submitting to competitions that have actually been doing decently well at some of these competitions. I'm still working on a revision of a pilot script that I'm hoping that will get picked up. I just have to fix one issue that came up in one of my rewrites where a monster design that I thought was cool no longer works in the plot.
Yeah.
All right, where are them robots?
You hate it when that happens. Like, you think you've got something so perfect, and then a month later you're like, I need to rework this.
Yeah, but it's also a case where if you, like, address one thing, it realizes, okay, well, then this element no longer works because it worked with this version, but not with this other version. Okay. Am I above the robots? Where are the dang robots? Where is the things that's surrounding the kid? Okay.
I see the red column of light. Oh,
there we go.
There it is.
Time to murder some robots.
All right. Random encounter. Kind of. So we are about 2 hours into the stream. I think it's time for us to kind of give our verdict here, at least for right now. I'll say this right here, right now. If you are a Dragon Ball fan, this is probably going to be fine for you. You'll get some enjoyment out of it. You'll go through Raditz Taboo again, and you'll probably be very happy with it. For somebody who's trying to get into the Dragon Ball franchise, there are other games I'd recommend, and frankly, a lot of them would be fighting games. So if you're a fighting game nut, then I'd recommend Fighters to you. Maybe the Budokai Tenkaichi games, because they kind of go through the plots of not just Z, but also a little bit into GT and into Dragon Ball. That's actually, in my opinion, what they probably should have done here, is instead of Z, this should have been reserved to a Dragon Ball game and then go through that plot, because a lot of people in the States still have never seen Dragon Ball.
Yeah, part of the problem is that they've tried, with the Dragon Ball games that were released, like Revenge of King Piccolo and Dragon Ball Origins, they didn't sell too well.
No, they didn't, and that's why you're not going to get it. So, but that's kind of the sad reality. This would have been the perfect way to introduce people into the Dragon Ball.
I can see them maybe trying to do it as like DLC or something,
or like if they got enough money to do a sequel where they could do Dragon Ball, then they could do that. But I don't see this game being sold like gangbusters. Not like, because I think Fighters is probably the best in numbers that Dragon Ball has had over the years.
Yeah,
aside from maybe Xenoverse, and even then, those numbers aren't good. Like, I can think of a bunch of games off the top of my head that will earn a lot more this year than Kakarot. So that's kind of my viewpoint. If you are invested, it's probably worth it to you. If you're not, like, if you're looking to get invested into this via this game, probably not going to work. I don't know. What do you think, Rodney?
That's kind of what it is. If you're already a diehard fan, you'll enjoy it. But so far, as someone who already has enough games that I'm trying to go through, I mean, it's basically just more of the same. So,
yeah, one thing that I will say is very disappointing with this is I was looking forward to all the side content, and so when we take it on, it's kind of lame. Like, it's not full on side stories. It's go and find Master Roshi's.
Yeah, and granted, there may have been stuff that we missed, but that's just because we didn't know where the heck we were going, because they don't make it clear of how to get to the world map.
Yeah, and I want to do my homework on this, but I have a feeling that a lot of the quests are going to be just like what we got with Master Roshi, which would be disappointing. That's not what I want for a side story. I want to be able to go, maybe have the movie storylines as a subplot. and you go and do them. And
Yeah, and that's just given that what I'm seeing is pretty much stuff I already got with stuff like Attack of the Saiyans, which kind of, I think, does it better.
Oh, so much better. If you guys haven't played Attack of the Saiyans, you should. Absolutely. If you can get it cheap. Because I know that it's, like, if you want to get it, a card of it, not new, but, like, slightly used, it's a lot. Because it has just earned a lot of popularity in later years.
Yeah.
Even Fusions has earned that.
Yeah, but Fusions you can buy digitally, whereas Attack of the Saiyans you can't.
Oh man, if they put Fusions or Attack of the Saiyans on Switch, that would be amazing.
I can see Fusions, not necessarily Attack of the Saiyans, because that one was also a loss for Namco.
Yeah, Fusions is the more likely candidate. But, yeah, see, here's the thing. This is a good thing that it's coming out in January when there's not really a whole lot of competition. If this thing came out in March...
It would have been buried.
It would have been buried. Especially with the 7 remake. Well, now that would be April. Like, Nemesis, 7 remake... It would have gotten buried.
Alright, let's see how the Runt is doing.
If they show him peeing, I'm gonna... Oh, I want to see him peeing.
I'm so hungry.
Little brat. We still don't have what it takes to fight the Saiyans. His latent power is our only shot. Fine. Just this once, I'll throw him a bone.
And then 5 minutes later,
Mood!
Oh well.
Yep. And then it's also a case of climb down.
actually, the likeliness of this working.
Nerd!
Why can't we get more Piccolo jokes in abridged? It's like out of nowhere, especially in the Boo Saga. They better take advantage of that. Is all of a sudden in the middle of a class where Gohan is showing how smart he is, then all of a sudden out of nowhere you hear nerd.
Either that or someone else is gonna say, and Piccolo's basically gonna be like, "That's my thing. That's my thing."
Either that or like so the Flash Thompson kind of character. He's like nerd, and then all of a sudden I sense a disturbance in the or I sense a disturbance in the balance.
Oh, it's like my baby's in trouble.
No, not my baby!
Again, that just makes me think back to the Cell games. Did our heart just skip a beat? That is precious.
And I just like, don't worry. And like Cell's just like, don't worry, I'll leave your father for last, right, Piccolo? And he's like, well, if you're just gonna come out and say it.
Wherever you are, let's do this.
Or he finally dodged. You must be so proud. Well, I mean, he could have dodged better.
This'll end it. This'll end it.
Oh my gosh.
And even the combat, it's kind of boring.
Yeah, it's getting a little mundane.
Like, yeah.
Even watching it, it's getting a little mundane.
Yeah, again, Attack of the Saiyans is just... That's what I'm getting. I'm just like, Attack of the Saiyans is just the better version.
Well, and here's the thing, too. Like, even for fighters and a lot of the auto combos that they do, it's still inventive. It still feels good. It still feels impactful. This one, it just feels like, oh, okay, boom, 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 boom. Because, like, you're having... You probably are having the Xenoverse feel. I'm having the Budokai Tenkaichi feel. Where that combat eventually wasn't satisfying enough. And that's kind of the disappointing thing.
Yeah, I just have to wonder, like, I pick up all these apples, but I'm guessing Piccolo's just like, okay, it has to be an unripe apple. Yes, because Piccolo just has to be like, I can't be too nice.
It's not ripe enough.
Nerd!
Actually, Mr. Piccolo, sir, it's not ripe enough.
Nerd!
Well, at least now we know how the key sensing works.
Up.
Where was that when we needed it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, verdict, I'd be like, get it at a discount, like, maybe wait for a price drop, do the red box trick that I use. I don't see myself paying full price for this.
No. In fact, I'm a little... I mean, granted, I got it for about $5-10 less because I didn't have since I got a deal where I didn't have to pay for the delivery or the packaging, but still, I would not recommend this at $60.
I mean, it looks good, but it's just This is kind of boring.
Yeah, that's kind of my issue with it. Like, I have no problem playing this with you because we're having good conversations.
Yeah,
with
we
it.
can basically take the piss out of it.
Yes, but if we didn't have a bunch of stuff to talk about, this would be painful.
Looks like
This would be a
someone
painful
wants
ass
to die.
stream.
I'm ready whenever you are. Let's do this.
Don't lie, people. It would be. This is why me and Romney can like bounce stuff off of each other and it works. So what's the point of the target scope if you're gonna hit them anyway?
I guess the idea is that if you're supposed to like hit multiple enemies with it, and it's like a combo thing. But if there was a way to just trigger, was like, okay, I've got my targets, now I'll fire.
See, I'm just not motivated to be able to do that until you get like Hellzone Grenade. Then it would be worthwhile, and I would actually want this as a mechanic for Vegeta. And I hope that we get to play as him.
Well, I mean, it does go through the Boo Saga, so we probably will.
No, I mean, I want like villain form, so like him against Kui and
Again, that'll
Raccoon.
probably happen. Wee.
Might be a good idea to take a break.
Oh my gosh. Ooh, I actually just barely thought about this. Has anybody ever done Initial D, the abridged?
This thing is
There might have been.
Because I wonder if that would be old
Like,
enough.
probably not any major people, but I think I've seen it.
Maybe that's one we could look into.
Possibly. I know one that I might look into just because the company who produced the anime no longer has the rights to it would be Lensman. But then we'd run the risk of having to deal with the estate of Doc Smith. But it's a case of, are they going to care enough about us making fun of an anime series that they themselves didn't even like? I mean, if anything, we probably would get some encouragement, but then it would also mean having to read the Lensman novels in order to actually make sense of it. But this is like old science fiction from the 40s.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a slog. I mean, I've already ran into that issue reading through some of the books I've been trying to get through, which... That one seems most likely because at least I know, although TMS animated it, they don't have the rights to it, and the estate has made it so that they can't re-release it. So if they try to take us down, then it would be a case of, oh, well, they don't have the authority.
See, I brought up Initial D just because, like, so over my holiday break, I actually decided to pick that up. I've had numerous friends tell me to pick it up, and I did, and I actually look at it and go, yeah, this is old enough that we could totally make fun of it.
Yeah, and I know Darkstalkers is one we've discussed as well.
Yes.
Because I still have your copy of the OVA. That's...
Wow, the things we could do with Donovan's pondering.
Well, and especially if we don't limit it to just the anime and use the sprites, which could work. I mean, it'd mean my eyes would go blood red.
Yeah.
Because I mean, people forget with like the animations for the abridged we did, I had to do that myself, and it took forever.
Yeah.
And it's not because of
that would be another thing that we'd have to do if we want to get an abridged going, is we need to get another editor.
Yeah.
Because if we don't do that, then we could not get them out in a timely fashion.
Yeah, because at least with that one, that was a case where, because we had Aldo working on it, but his computer crashed. Oh boy. Here we go.
What the?
All of Gohan's people can be monkeys. Do 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 do.
I forgot they made the Donkey Kong joke.
This is a Saiyan's true power. This'll end it. This'll end it.
I did it! I'm the best around! Nothing's ever gonna keep me down. Oh, crap!
Oh boy.
What's going on? A threat transform into this thing.
He's a level 10. I guess that makes sense. He is in the Uzaru form, so he should be to some degree more powerful. Oh man.
Dang it, I'm out of key.
Damn it!
Punch him on the nose! Punch him on the nose! Quick, Piccolo, you must aim for the moon!
Eep.
doing anything.
Yeah, they are. Don't you see the health bar, Piccolo?
I know, right?
Ah.
There's a health bar?
This'll end it.
Oh my gosh. The
Nope.
Uzaru's head was broken. It was literally clipping into its shoulder. Well, that was creepy. You go, there he goes again!
Try this.
The poor Uzaru, he's got a big old crick in his neck. Oh my gosh, okay. Well, that's a thing. I'm trying to think. So now with all these delays, is there anything worthwhile coming out up until April?
Well,
I don't think so.
why is it not aiming?
I have no idea.
Well, that works. And somehow I still got an S rank. I
Yeah,
don't know how. But that's the thing. I don't feel any challenge here. It's just tedious
No.
button mashing.
And I didn't see anything where we could raise the difficulty.
Yeah, I mean, I can see the appeal for this maybe if you have like a younger player who's just excited to play a Dragon Ball game. I can see this
Or like a son playing with their dad.
something like that.
Yeah.
We Saiyans release our true power whenever there's a full moon. Even chumps like
So let's see
you
here.
show
We got Tokyo Mirage Sessions for Switch, so that's gonna bring some people in.
Not really, because it's the censored version that
Oh,
was
is
released.
it?
Yeah.
I heard it was the uncensored. Okay.
Nope, it's the censored version because
Never
they're
mind
trying
then.
to do a international release, and so they're basically doing the one that they already had all the re-assets. So it's the censored version for the Wii U, except even Japan is getting stuck with the censored version.
That sucks. Okay, Pokemon fans will get something in March because they're doing the remake of Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. Let's see, Neo 2 will bring Dark Souls fans out there, or Souls fans out there.
Yeah, since it's a Souls clone, basically.
Animal Crossing New Horizons.
We know Brenton's excited for that
Yeah,
one.
he's definitely excited. In fact, that's one of his regrets that he couldn't join us for the best and worst, is he wanted to talk about Animal Crossing.
Looks like he needs a full moon
And how
in
he
that
really
tail
wants
of his
that.
to transform.
And then yeah, that's pretty much it. And all of the stuff that I just barely mentioned, March
That's
releases.
taken care of. Here's some clothes and a sword.
Clothes beam!
Clothes beam!
That is easily my
So
most
you're on your
metro
own
attack.
If you can somehow manage to survive the
I
next
forgot
6
about
months,
that.
then you will have earned the honor of being trained by the great Piccolo.
I mean, the one thing that I would be excited about in February would be the Mega Man Zero ZX Legacy. Just because I've been wanting to play those games. I've played the first one.
Yeah, I've just been skeptical because I've been hearing about the problems Capcom has had with those recent collections.
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully these ones will be ported better, but I've been hearing problems with like the release of the Legacy Collection and the X Legacy Collection.
There are minor problems, and but they're not huge issues for me. So
yeah, I mean, hopefully it's better than the first time they did it, because the first time they did it, I know, like with Mega Man 4 especially, it got butchered. Because I know what it was. They wanted to redub it, but then they changed their mind and tried to bring the audio track back in, but then everything was out of sync as a result.
It's not so bad. So I remember when did I do 4 with the PS4? I might not have.
Yeah, because
I think I might have started at 5. But like when I played 4 on that, it still worked to me.
Yeah, well, I still have my copy for PS1.
Yeah.
And as for, I mean, one series of games I hope they re-release.
Wait, are we talking about Mega Man 4 or Mega Man X4?
X4.
Okay, yeah. I am not sure on that one yet. I haven't gotten the X
it was
collection
X4, because I've heard there have been issues with the way they ported the X series that had problems.
Yeah, that might be a thing. Especially if I haven't confirmed this yet, but X3, the one that they got for the original X collection where it had the anime cutscenes, they didn't do that for.
Yeah, that was
PS4
X4.
one.
X4 is the one with the cutscenes.
No. In 3, there were 2. So instead of doing, they actually did anime cutscenes in Japan for the introductions of all the Robot Masters. And so at that point, the cool part about the X collection when it came out for the previous gen was they had that in. And from what I understand, the PS4 version went with more of a standardized version, and it doesn't have that. But I'll show you. Like it's got intro cutscenes for like Blizzard Buffalo and Neon Tiger. If I get any shots of your balls, I'm leaving. You're the one guy. I just don't need to see his junk.
What the? Huh? Yeah. The more I look at you, the more you look like Goku when he was a kid.
Okay, how many of these characters did Sabat do?
Wait a second.
That actually does make you wonder, doesn't
Are
it?
you his kid or something?
I thought somebody else did Yajirobe, though.
I thought so too. But I'm hearing it sounds like Sabat here.
My name's Gohan.
Cool.
No wonder
I'm
Sabat has a
Yajirobe.
supposed casting couch. He plays like
Me and
20
Goku are
characters.
Real tight. We go way back.
Oh, you know what? I forgot about this one, too. Darksiders Genesis in February will also do fairly well.
Man,
And
must be pretty
contrary to
rough,
what a lot
huh?
of people think,
Having
Street Fighter
Piccolo
V
on your
Champion
back
Edition
like
will do well.
that. I know the feeling.
Just because people
Bulma
do
won't
want to
get
have
off
access to
mine.
Street Fighter V.
Yeah.
And they waited,
Kept
like I
going on
did,
and on
for a
about how
full-on
you were
version.
Kidnapped and needed help or something. Anyway, she wouldn't leave me alone about the whole thing, so that's why I'm out here. But you know, I kind of got lost looking all over
Dude,
the
what
place.
happened to that sword
I
for
was starting
Gohan?
to get worried.
Who knows?
I was just about ready to peace out.
Because I know he doesn't have it
So,
during the fight with the
good
Saiyans. I
thing
think
you
it just
found me, huh?
It broke somewhere.
Oh,
somewhere.
I bet you're having some trouble getting.
I remember
through,
arguing
huh?
with my friend, like, is that where they got the sword for Trunks? Like, maybe it just got a different hilt?
Well, the length wouldn't be right.
Yeah, it
I know
wouldn't be.
the sort of explanation is that he gets it from Tapion, but again, given that the movies aren't considered canon,
Uh-huh.
that's where things are confusing.
I'll teach
Yeah.
you how to hunt.
oh, so that's what you meant by help.
Well, yeah. Look, little dude, if I just swoop in and take you back, Piccolo.
Look, little dude.
Kill me. So anyway, yeah.
Okay, if this guy can get away with saying dude all the time, certainly I can, people.
Yeah.
I get given a little bit of crap for, like, you call everybody a
This
dude.
is
Yes, I
how
do.
You do it. All right then, let's get
That's
it
how I
over.
grew up. Everybody was a
Follow my
dude.
lead and you'll-
I hate to make the
Find
Keenan
some
or the
deer
Kel
in
Mitchell
your
joke, but
trees.
I'm a dude. He's a dude. She's a dude. We're all dudes.
Yeah. I just remember there was an expanded version on Tumblr that was like, I'm a dude, she's a dude, my cat's a dude.
Mm-hmm. I do that with dogs too. She's like, dude, stop peeing on the rug.
Mr. Yajirobe said I should approach deer from behind if I want to catch them.
Oh no, they're giving you a stealth mission. Congratulations, they're giving you a stealth mission in a Dragon Ball game.
Yeah.
I'm officially worried about this.
Run away if they see me.
Well, I don't even know where the heck they are.
Yeah, no kidding. All right, while you're working on that, I'm also going to take care of one other quick bit of business for the stream. So, in case you guys did not join us last night at the very end, because for some reason I forgot to do it at about a half hour before. So, the schedule for streaming this week is going to be like this. Tuesday, we're going to be doing Death Stranding as usual. So, that's going to be happening, and we'll see. So, you guys kind of missed this before, but you've already finished Death Stranding. So,
Yep.
we're going to have to see what we think of it.
Yeah, because I have opinions.
Uh-huh.
Very strong ones, but if it...
I'm actually strongly thinking that our first Geek News Game Talk needs to be Death Stranding. And it, like, you and me and maybe somebody else. Just discussing, you know, what we liked, what we didn't like, etc.
Yeah, because especially with the ending, I have some really strong opinions, but Adam's not very far in it, so I can't really go into detail here.
Yeah, and don't. Because, I want to go through it and see if it's worthwhile. Then the next one will be on Saturday, and that will be Kingdom Hearts Remind. So we will be doing that for a couple of hours that night because me and Andrea are both excited for Remind to see what they're going to do with it.
Yeah, I still need to actually beat Kingdom Hearts 3.
That's
That's a game that I'm really behind on.
Uh-huh.
Like, I've only just barely finished the toy box. That's how long it's been since I touched it.
Oh, dude, I'm behind on so many games.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's going to be Kingdom Hearts Remind on that one. The following Sunday, we will be back with World of Final Fantasy, so we'll continue on in that. And I think that's then the following Tuesday is going to be back to Death Stranding again.
Okay,
So
there's the deer.
that's probably what's going to happen. Like this was kind of a unique case where you and me wanted to come in and do Kakarot, but all the other games that I know we're doing, Andrea's invested. So at that point, we'll be doing we'll be doing Nemesis Remake that way. If you want to join us for that, you're more than welcome to.
Well, yeah, because I mean, I'm definitely gonna get the Nemesis remake.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you just want to sit there and pee your pants right along with us, then that's fine too.
Yeah.
I don't know how we do the cameras, but we'll have to figure that out. 7 remake, same thing like that. I like a lot of that stuff Andrea's invested in. And
get back here, you
see.
stupid deer. Get in my belly.
My little belly.
Aha, you're cornered.
Wah.
Okay, did Gohan just literally like uppercut it out of existence?
Yes.
I
Don't
mean, I know
question
this is Dragon Ball, but
don't question it. You hit my butt! My one weakness!
yeah, now this is just making me want to play Tokyo Jungle. Another game that does the hunting better. Of course, Tokyo Jungle is like Ninja Gaiden levels of hard.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. See, that was one of the missed opportunities with Smash, is like Ryu Hayabusa.
Yeah.
Although we do have
Fighters Pass Volume 2.
Yeah, which is going to have 6 fighters. So, I mean, we can't rule out Fighters Pass, but I know one thing that a lot of people are asking is, can you please go to the indie game devs as well? Because, you know, they still want Shantae, they still want Shovel Knight.
But most we'll probably get with any of the indie devs will be what we're getting with what we got with Sans, what we got with Cuphead.
Yeah.
Is a Mii Fighter skin with a bonus music track.
Pretty much.
Or a spirit on the spirit board.
Yeah. And the other thing, too, guys, you're not getting Geno. You got the skin, and that's it. I do not see them doing Geno.
Yeah, it's not likely.
Because Square Enix is going to be more interested in doing Sora than they are Geno.
Yep. I mean, one thing I would wish if they were to do another Final Fantasy character, someone from the NES or SNES era. Like,
oh yeah.
Like I would even find if it was just Chocobo or Moogle. But like, I would want like Cecil Harvey would be one I would want, like because I like Super Nintendo. That's like was like a pivotal era for Final Fantasy.
See, Cecil would make a lot of sense just because if they still held true to the old theory of like Zelda and Sheik kind of swapping characters, if you could go from Dark Knight to Paladin,
Dissidia
cool.
does it. That's literally the gimmick for Dissidia. Is that you can switch between you use Dark Knight for ground attacks and then Paladin for air attacks.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm kind of tired of everybody but 6 getting love.
Yeah.
I kind of want Locke or somebody from 6 to get in.
Yeah. That's why I think the best of both worlds would be using Chocobo and then having the Chocobo with the job system being how they do attacks. That would be the best way to do it.
Yeah, because like we were playing through World of Final Fantasy the other day, and we actually saw like Edgar in it. And I'm like, and we actually got a 3D rendition of Figaro Castle. And I'm just like, wow. Everything has been done for every other game except for maybe 6 and... Yeah, 6, because 9 got a remake.
Well, remaster,
not remaster. 8 got a remaster. Like, everything but 6 has gotten love.
Like, pretty much 6 and 5 are the ones that are always ignored.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you're not counting in Dissidia, they really aren't getting any kind of love. And frankly, I think 6 deserves to have that at this point.
Yeah, I mean, we were supposed to get a whole trilogy of remakes, starting with 4, then we were supposed to get 5 and 6 from the same company.
Yeah.
But they just decided to then throw everything behind Crystal Chronicles, and then were shocked when nobody played Crystal Chronicles.
It just drives me crazy. So at that point, like, if they were going to do one, I would... Correct me if I'm wrong, 6 or 3 in this case did better than 4/2, right?
Well, I'm not sure of the exact specifics.
I think that's the way that people go about it, because I know 7 was a huge success, and I think
let's try one of the side quests here.
I think 6 was the bigger success that they'd had on the Super Famicom.
Yeah.
So, yeah, why don't we do that?
I mean, alternately, another character I would want to see, Chrono, because you have Dragon Quest and you have Final Fantasy. Bring in the character that...
Especially if they were, like, coupling the announcement with... So, a couple of years ago, they did that Secret of Mana remastered. There's a rumor going around that they also want to do that for Chrono Trigger. If you did that, if you announced Chrono and then you announced, yes, we're going to be doing a remaster of Chrono Trigger in honor of whatever anniversary.
Yeah, but that's where you run into the things of, like, remasters versus remake, because you had, like, the Secret of Mana remake, as opposed to a remaster, which is the same game with touched-up UI and graphics, which is what we were supposed to get on Steam, but then Square decided to be like, oh, let's just port the phone version, because that's totally the same.
Yeah, right. And so at that would be an amazing one. I'm trying to think of other games in the Square Enix canon that would work for Smash characters.
Yeah,
and not really anything else is coming to mind. Because
like maybe one of the something from Ivalice, like because you had Tactics Advance.
Maybe you could get away with that.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of stuff that was like specific.
Like, you couldn't do tactics, because tactics was PlayStation.
Was PlayStation, but there was...
But you could do Tactics Advance.
Yeah, and then you had both Revenant Wings and Tactics Advance, which both take place in Evil East.
Yeah. You could do Kingdom Hearts, because Kingdom Hearts would make sense. A lot of
And
people
also,
are wondering-
12 was also ported to the Switch, so they could do characters from 12.
Oh, that's right, yeah. Just don't do Vaughn. Nobody likes Vaughn.
It would be Vaughn. He's technically the main character, because Dissidia put Vaughn in. Because...
Yeah, why?
Because
story-wise, he isn't even...
He's the poster boy. That's the honest truth, is that he's the poster boy.
I've never understood that, too. Like, Balthier and Bosch have much more character development than Vaughn ever gets. And, like, I literally played through that game, and I'm like, what is Vaughn's purpose in this game? It doesn't even feel like he should be there. What the heck?
Okay, so the idea is that this gives you, like, locations of where to forage for stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, like, I'm just wandering around here, and I'm just like... This doesn't feel like Dragon Ball.
No.
Like, I mean, it's cool to see, like, all the worlds and stuff, but, again, Attack of the Saints just did this so much better.
And actually, another one that I'm going to say did it better, Budokai 3.
Yeah.
Because you had a big world, and you had stuff to do in it. That's the frustration that I have here. Is like, we're having so much fun talking about other things other than Dragon Ball right now.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's one thing that people keep saying, oh, they should add Goku to Smash. No. I agree with Sakurai. It should be limited to video game characters.
I'll make quick work.
I don't want Goku. Like,
No.
I'm just going to go ahead and say it right here now. Because the bottom line is, Goku would be a Ryu clone. And to me, there's more significance in Ryu being in Smash than Goku.
Yeah.
Because Street Fighter 2 on consoles was an amazing thing.
Yeah, I'm trying to think other retro games that could be represented. Like, I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Because, I mean, there are people who are wanting characters from Star Tropics.
Here's an Enix one that they could do. ActRaiser.
Yeah, that would
For some reason, that was a weird niche hit. In
it had
the
a
States.
cult following because it was basically... At least the first one was both an action RPG and a world-building sim. And then the sequel went more towards just the action RPG route.
Yeah.
But
So
yeah, that's something I could see. I'm trying to think other... Because there have been other like niche Square Enix stuff they've done.
Mm-hmm.
But again, trying to think what was specifically on a Nintendo console. Because we've already mentioned Chronicles, which, I mean, I can see them trying to do something from Chronicles if they really are that desperate to promote it. Because there is the remaster for the Switch they're releasing.
I don't know.
I mean, World Ends With You could be one that could get some representation, because that's at least...
That's possible.
Yeah, because there was the port for the Switch. It was originally on DS. I mean, even a character from the Bravely Default series would also work.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, who would you choose, and how would it work? Because...
No idea at this point. Like,
yeah.
Even the stuff that I'm thinking of from Famicom and Super Famicom days... pretty much what you've got works.
Yeah, and especially there's also cases where characters that people want are already in the game, like as assist trophies. Like, there's people who really want Isaac from Golden Sun to be an actual fighter and not an assist trophy. And granted, there is precedent. Little Mac started out as an assist trophy and then became a fighter. It's just Golden Sun, there hasn't really been any movement on it
But
since
the problem
Dark
also
Dawn.
is that I can understand people's struggle that there's too many sword fighter characters, and they want to be able to do something like gunners and stuff like that.
Yeah, but at least with Isaac, the sword is not his main weapon, it's his synergy. And so there, I can see at least them making some variety to it.
Yeah. As long as you did it right, but...
Yeah.
I mean... I would... See, here's the sad reality of the Byleth announcement. Then they made the announcement of Cuphead and X and Mega Man.exe, and I'm like, those all would be really cool additions.
Well, problem is EXE would basically just turn into an echo of Mega Man, because that's pretty much his character. It's just instead of robot powers, you have battle chips, and it would be the same basic gimmick, which I wouldn't necessarily mind. But
Zero or X might also be that too. I think the only thing that would make him different is his final smash would involve the unique armor forms that he gets.
Yeah, and with Zero, it would just be yet another sword fighter.
Yeah.
And although you could get cool things like with the Raku Hoha as for like his attacks or even some of the more extreme stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, one thing that I would rather see was maybe be more villains. So maybe instead of another Mega Man, bring in. I mean, it's already the Proto Man skin, but maybe bring in, like, Base or if you're using X, bring in Sigma.
Yeah, but here's the thing that you do with Sigma. You bring in his X2 form, which a lot of people like over the original one, and that would be a brawler because it was claws. So at that point, you'd have a unique brawler in Sigma, which would already be better than MVCI.
Yep.
You could do that. I'm trying to think of some other villains.
One thing I would want to see some representation, it would be another sword fighter technically, but I would want them to bring in characters from the Tales series, since Namco only has one representative, whereas Square already has two, so bringing another character from a Namco
Is
franchise...
it Namco that owns Tales?
Yeah, Tales is Namco. And so, although many people would probably want someone from Fantasia, people would likely request Lloyd Irving. Because although Tales of Fantasia was the first, Lloyd Irving was the one... Tales of Symphonia was kind of what established it really in the minds of a lot of people. Like, a lot of people I know, Tales of Symphonia was their first Tales game.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. So Namco representation...
Because all they have is Pac-Man right now.
Pac-Man.
And so, I mean, Heihachi is a possibility.
Could we justify another Xenoblade character? Because they got Shulk.
Maybe if they go with Cosmos, but...
Well, that'd be Xenosaga. Like, Cosmos would be an amazing one, like a brawler gunner hybrid, but I don't see her getting that. I would rather see, like, somebody else from Xenoblade 2 getting that representation.
Yeah. And, I mean, looking at other Namco properties, I mean, you've got Dig Dug, which technically is a spirit, but then there would also be characters from, like, because, I mean, you'd have Heihachi or Kazuya or Jin as possible choices that were rumored. But then you would also, like, for characters from Soul Calibur, you run into the issue of, okay, well, which character is considered the representative of Soul Calibur? Because no one really knows.
Then you kind of run into the same problem that some other suggestions we've had have, which is if PlayStation's All-Star Heroes was a thing, Tekken would make more sense on PlayStation.
Yeah, because that was where it launched.
That's where it started. That's where it's most relevant. Same thing with Soul Calibur, because Soul Edge was originally on PlayStation, and then, Soul Calibur hit its stride with Dreamcast. So that would be very hard to be able to do that.
Yeah, and so the Tales series, at the very least, because the Tales series started on the Super Famicom, so there would be more justification. It's just not a lot of... Like, Tales is very niche, so Lloyd would be kind of the mainstream choice. If you want to go, with honoring the original, you then have Cress from the very first, from Tales of Fantasia, which was the first of the games.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think what other Namco franchises... Because, I mean, you've got Pac-Man, Dig Dug... I mean, unless you want to throw in, like, a reference to Time Crisis, maybe.
Maybe.
Since that was mainly arcade. But that would have to be, like, a spirit board. I don't see any of them trying to make a fighter out of it.
No.
We need to hurry.
That's kind of the problem, is that a lot of these fighters have to make sense in the context. Like, the other one I've seen a lot of people request is, like, Haomaru.
Which, I mean, we do have Terry, and Haomaru, given that they have Samurai Showdown on Switch, I can see that working.
Yeah. But I will say this for the Smash Ultimate Fighting Pass 2, is I want more other companies. Like, I have no problem with Nintendo. If you want to have at least one of those 6 fighters be Nintendo, I'm okay with it. But I love the fact that you're going out to other companies, because now it shows that you're mending broken fences. And so at that point, I would love to be able to see more other companies, even if it's just a repeat of Capcom, even if it's just a repeat of Square Enix. I'd be okay with it, but just do more of them. Oh, hi, World Tournament announcer. And it's not even the guy who played him. Aw. But he gave you a power protein.
Well, speaking of Eric Vale, one character I know a lot of people would want to see would be Phoenix Wright.
Ooh.
I mean, it's off the wall and out there enough that it would work.
It would work, but I don't see his character being anything more than what it was in... No, anything more than what it was in... Like, if you made it a fighter, it'd have to be like Marvel vs. Capcom 3 Ultimate.
Yeah.
So...
Which, I mean,
it'd have to be that way, but if you made him an assist trophy where the judge can come in and destroy you, that would be hilarious.
Or even just having Phoenix be the assist trophy and just have him say objection or something, and just have the letters be the obstacle that hits other players. I mean, even just that, because, I mean, one character that I think could work as an assist trophy, not necessarily a main fighter, would be Professor Layton, because they haven't done any representation with Level 5, and so Level 5 has a number of games on Nintendo systems that could stand for some representation. You've got Professor Layton. You have the Inazuma 11 series.
Yep.
And if they want to try to promote, if they decide to port Rogue Galaxy to the Switch, then I can see them maybe trying to do a promotion and bringing a character from Rogue Galaxy.
Yeah. That's definitely another way that they could go.
I mean,
see, the cool part is like, now that I'm thinking about it, if you did Phoenix Wright as an assist trophy, here's a couple of ways that it could go. You could make it so that he calls in the judge, or maybe the judge is his own assist trophy and he can just destroy you. And then Phoenix could actually be like, you find Psyche Locks, and then it's just a countdown from all the Psyche Locks being destroyed, and then you go boom. And even you could do Miles Edgeworth, and he calls in Francisca to whip everybody into submission.
Yeah.
That'd be cool, but only as an assist trophy.
Yeah.
Looks like someone wants to die.
Yeah.
I love that people are pushing also for Contra, which, guys, we were lucky enough to get Snake and Castlevania characters. We're not going to get Contra in there, too.
Not unless they do it as like a Mii costume.
Yeah.
And just have it be a gunner.
I just don't see it happening any other way than that.
So that's all.
Jeez. Other major Capcom characters that they could do. I know that a lot of people want Dante.
One I would want, and it would work because it was released on GameCube, Jill Valentine. If they use the GameCube model, it was on the GameCube, it works. Because, I mean, they were able to... Oh, here's Tien.
Oh, hi, Tien. He's not roided out like he is in the Cell Saga.
Well, because, again, this is just the Saiyan Saga.
Yeah.
So the
Three-eyed fighter, Tien.
You.
And just Tien's companion.
Looks like
Yep,
you knew I was
that's what they got.
nearby. Not bad for a deadweight like you.
You've got quite the mouth on you. Don't think for a second that I've started trusting you. To me, you're still the enemy.
Oh, we literally was like, you're still streaming. Yes, we are.
They should get Drak to voice all the voices in this game.
I'll defeat you here
I
and
mean,
now
that-
if
that
I
would-
must.
That would be cool,
What?
but
You think
I
you
would not do a
actually
good
stand
job.
chance again?
I do. I did train
I mean, this would
undercover.
just be... It would be tantamount to that weird Doom mod where all the sound effects are just replaced with Tim Allen going,
Is that so?
He instructed me to return to the surface and further polish my technique by sparring with an even stronger opponent. And I can
It could be
no
worse.
better
I mean,
opponent than you. Let me show you how
I saw a
strong
Quake 3
become.
mod that had an Optimus Prime skin, but instead of actually getting like clips from the series and getting those voiceover clips, they instead decided to do their own fake voice of Optimus Prime, and they don't do Optimus Prime very well. Sorry, you have to have a certain degree of low to your voice to make Optimus Prime work. Hence why,
okay, that's how you do it.
hence why I don't do that.
Using my true power.
Boom! All right, well, at least we're getting used to the fighting engine now.
Not bad, Piccolo.
Okay.
Is this all you've got?
I'm not finished yet.
Kick the crap out of him! Nice.
I can't move.
Holy moly! Oh yeah, that's right. The Dodon Ray was a thing, wasn't it?
Yep, it's a crane school technique.
Yep. For some reason, I only ever associate Tri-Beam with him now.
Yeah, but that's because that was what he was known for. Because that was the technique he developed specifically for the fight against the Saiyans and then used it against Cell.
But it doesn't make sense to bring in the Dodon Ray because that was a Dragon Ball thing.
Well,
So
yeah,
a lot
but
of
keep
people
in
were
mind,
like,
that was pretty much the technique that was his major thing at this point in the series, since this takes place after the big fight at the World Tournament. So,
This is true.
given that they're still in the process of training for the Saiyans, he probably hasn't cultivated the Tri-Beam just yet. Because so far, I think only Tien, Mercenary Tao, and the Master of the Crane School are like the only ones I've seen use it.
You're better
Yeah.
than I thought. At least you can dodge basic key blasts. I guess that training of yours wasn't a waste of time.
You scum. How dare you? You may have the upper hand now, but not for long.
I'm going to eventually defeat you.
No, you won't.
No.
I'd like to see you try.
Okay, cool. We have Tien as a connection or a soul emblem. No, well, we're actually really close to ending time, so I think now would be a good time to go ahead and call it. So,
yeah.
You guys make your own call on this matter, but here's my viewpoint. If you're a Dragon Ball fan, you are going to find enjoyment out of this game somehow. If you're not, I just don't see it really working for you. I'm actually kind of sitting here going, I don't know if I'm going to pick this game back up.
Yeah, just given that we've spent more time talking about other things than the game.
Exactly.
That just kind of tells you, because I mean, honestly, I found it kind of boring. If I do get it, I'm going to either get it at a discount at Redbox where they're trying to sell the stock.
Yeah.
Or just wait for it to be like on sale at like Target for like $20.
Pretty much. So that's going to go ahead and do it for us today. Once again, if people want to be able to follow Romney's content, how do they do that?
Well, you can find me under my handle, StudioGhostUtah. That is my handle on YouTube, Facebook, and most recently, SoundCloud, as I am going to start uploading there. I just need to actually make the video explaining what my plan is, once I actually have a plan. But that is where you can find my content. If you want to interact with me, you can also follow me on Twitter at Romney Reviews if you want to send me stuff directly or get my direct opinion. I try to check it as best as I can. I'm not as consistent, mostly because my feed is mostly filled with Reuters. And if you want to see a more personal side of me that... excuse me. If you want to see a personal side of me that features cats, food that I cook, cats, random Nintendo Switch tidbits, and most recently book reviews, you can follow me on Instagram at RomneyDoesArt, where I swear one of these days that username will not be a lie.
Exactly. So yeah, once again, go ahead and follow this guy because he's got a lot of amazing content, both past and present. And actually, I think we've got some other things in store as we're already talking about the next Why We Geek that we want to do. And also, if you guys are fans of the Geek News Reviews and Opinions podcast, we will be back this upcoming Friday live. So you guys can follow us there at 10 o'clock Eastern time. I had to think about it, like what is the actual time that we go on, but we will be back on Friday. But that's going to go ahead and do it for us today. Our next stream will be on Tuesday, where we'll be taking on more Metal Gear pizza delivery guy with Death Stranding.
Yeah, Metal Gear UPS driver.
Exactly, pretty much. Until then, we will see you guys next time. Good night, everybody!
Ooh.